Hello, Wolves fans, and welcome to Joe Knowles Field here on the campus of South Kitsap High School. Tonight is the 2014 Narrows League opener as the South Kitsap Wolves take on the Olympia Bears. We are happy to be coming to you live this evening on SKTV, Wave Digital Channel 205, and also streaming live to the world on the internet. I'm Steve Dickey, and helping me bring you tonight's game is South Kitsap senior Curtis Keat. Welcome back to the booth, Curtis.
Well, thank you, Steve. Well, tonight's going to be a tough one. Both these teams 1-1 and divisional opponents. As you said, the first opener. Olympia comes in, and their first game they won 20-13 against Ferris Saxon, and they lost their second game 17-7 against the Capital Cougars. Bears are led by.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the.
We're going to throw this down to the national anthem, color guard commanded by Cadet Ensign Croston, the South Kitsap High School Band.
Until the colors have cleared the free playing field. And now please join Gary Grahams and the South Kitsap Band in our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be conducted by Senior Drum Major Aaron Rogers, Junior Drum Major Taylor Reimer, and Field Marshal Jacob Stoley. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Let's play some football.
Caden Wilson, who's a senior. Wilson threw for just over 150 yards in last week's game. Bears also have a solid running game with senior Isaiah Brooks leading the way. Brooks scored the only Bears touchdown last week on a 3-yard run. Wilson has a couple of weapons at wide receiver. His favorite is All-Star League wide receiver, senior Colin Coulter at 5'11", 185 pounds. He's a speed star, and he just makes things happen. Another weapon that Wilson has is 6', 165-pound wide receiver Derek Bueller. who was also an all-league defensive back last year. He's another guy that can just fly. With 3 returning all-star players on defense, led by junior linebacker Clay Markoff, defensive back David Woodward, and senior defensive back Derek Bueller, the Bears certainly have a talented team. What can you tell us about South?
Well, Curtis, the Wolves come in at 1-1 after last week's 43-0 loss to Peninsula. The Wolves' offense is led by second-year starter and all-league quarterback senior Cooper Canton, who has thrown for about 164 yards so far this season. However, the focus of South's offense will be its rushing attack, led by another second-year starter and all-league running back, senior Marshad DeWalt. The 5'5", 256-pounder has run for 211 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season. Newcomer to the offense this year is senior Raymond Marin, who's made several big blocks from the fullback position to spring DeWalt for a couple of big runs and also has 4 catches out of the backfield. The Wolves have a couple of solid wide receivers as well. Canton's favorite target and yet another returning all-league player is senior Braden Maynard, who has 5 catches for 77 yards on the season. Wide receivers Dominic Vargas and Ian Van Giesen provide plenty of weapons for Cooper Canton. Defense is led by last year's leading tackler, senior linebacker Raymond Marin, who has a team-high 14 tackles, 2 of them for losses so far. Another linebacker, senior Dominic Vargas, has 12 tackles, and junior defensive back Miles Huff has 10 tackles out of the defensive secondary. Senior tackler Will Gatlin, who has 8 tackles on the season, is another force to be reckoned with on the defensive line. The Wolves have a speedy and hard-hitting defensive secondary led by juniors Mile Huff, Logan Guerrero, Cole Craner, and senior Jacob Lewis. These guys fly to the ball, and they can lower the boom. If you take all those weapons combined with some of the solid special teams play, led by speedy senior transfer Jacob Lewis, who had a 90-yard kickoff return to open the second half against Central Kitsap that was called back, unfortunately, and the big foot of junior place kicker Nolan Souza, I'd say the Wolves are poised to have a pretty solid season. Well, looks like we're just about to get underway here. Looks like Olympia will be receiving. The Wolves will be kicking off. And as I was just talking about the large foot of Nolan Souza, he's about to kick off for the Wolves. And we'll get the league opener against the Olympia Bears kicked off here in just a minute.
Let's see if he can kick it into the parking lot.
You know, he had some big kicks last week. Olympia Bears, tough squad. They came in preseason ranked as number 10 in the state. After their loss, they dropped out, but they're a solid football team. So Souza's just about ready. And we are underway. Kind of a short, high kick. Fielded about the 14-yard line. Takes it up the middle, cuts back to the outside, looking for some running room. Brings it out to about the 32-yard line, where he's met by a few Wolves, including Jacob Lewis, the senior transfer from Peninsula High School.
That was Colin Coacher on that carry from the Olympia Bears.
So the Bears will take over 1st and 10 from the 32. Wolves going to come out, try to make a defensive stand. Last week was a little bit of a struggle, obviously, defensively, especially stopping the running game. That was kind of a problem last year, too.
I spoke with Cooper Kent today, and he just said that was embarrassing, so the Wolves are definitely looking for some redemption tonight. Good stop on there.
So hard run up the middle. Takes it to about the 39-yard line. Bears out of the huddle quick.
You spoke about South's key defensive players. I think number 5, Miles Huff, is definitely one to be watching tonight.
So Wilson under center, drops back, fakes the other side. It's picked off at the 30-yard line. Number 9.
Noah French.
Noah French with the pick, and he will take it all the way in. Touchdown, Wolves. What a jump. Noah French stayed in his lane. He stayed home, stayed disciplined. Coach Canton talked about that before the game. Jumps up and just snags that thing, takes it untouched, 32 yards into the end zone, and the Wolves strike first and quick.
This is what the Wolves needed.
Absolutely. Get out quick. That's the Wolves' second interception of the year, first for Noah French. Nolan Souza now lines up for the extra point. There's the snap. It's down. It's up. And it is good, and the Wolves strike first 50 seconds into the game, and the Wolves have taken the early 7-0 lead. How about that play by Noah French, Curtis?
That was pretty great, but now I'm kind of sad I don't get to see the offense take the field yet.
I'm sure that Coach Canton will take scores however he can get them after last week's shutout loss. That was a big boost right there for the defense to come up strong, not only get a stop, but to get a pick six on this is just great. Take a look at the replay here. Great block there. Noah French takes it all the way in, escorted by 4 Wolves. Nobody going to touch him.
He just waltzed right in there. South Kitsap on fire already.
French had a sack in the first game that caused a fumble that Raymond Marin picked up and ran back for a touchdown. Unfortunately, it was called back after a penalty on the Wolves. So Noah French knows how to make those big plays on defense.
South plays very good defense as long as they can keep up with the offense.
So Souza tees it up. He's ready to kick it back off again. Lots of noise from the band and the fans as Souza kicks it off deep. Great kick, and it goes all the way into the end zone. High school rules say you are not allowed to bring the ball out from the end zone, so that is an automatic touchback, and the Bears will take over at the 20-yard line. So
you mentioned the crowd. It's like a mini Seahawks kind of. You'll see later on halftime when we show highlights from the pep assembly. Our high school kids get loud.
Great group of fans here at South Kitsap High School. So again, Wilson under center, hands it off to Isaiah Davis up the middle. Looks like he's got about 4 yards on the carry.
You know, I noticed from last game that Peninsula had a definite size advantage on South, but both of these teams seem to be fairly equal in size.
Excuse me, that was Isaiah Brooks. So fake
Noah
handoff
French
and
again
not
on the
going
play.
anywhere. Noah French in on the tackle, assisted by number 41, Mikey Garcia. So the Wolves defense really making a statement here early. 3rd and 6 now from the 24.
South is just relentless tonight.
The defense is fired up. I think they were kind of embarrassed after last week. So he takes a snap, rolls out to his right,
Miles.
looking for the receiver, finds one and overshoots him. Great defensive play there. Miles Huff on the defense. And the Bears, we forced a punt on their second possession.
South Kitsap knows how important this game is because it's the divisional one, and these are the ones that matter.
Absolutely, Curtis. The Peninsula loss means absolutely nothing as far as standings and playoffs and all that kind of things go. I mean, yeah, it was a little bit of a pride, but as far as record and playoffs and whatnot, this is the game that matters, and the Wolves want to make a statement here. And so far, they're doing that early. So here's the snap. Kick is off. Nice punt. Back to field, Jacob Lewis, who catches it at the 49-yard line, spins away from a tackler, takes it up to about the 46-yard line.
And a flag goes flying. I think it was a horse collar tackle. Not sure.
If that's the case, we'll get another 15 tacked onto that. So let's see what that flag is. See if it's going to give the Wolves a little better field position or if it's going to back them up a little bit. You know, penalties is one thing really has been shooting the Wolves in the foot. And it is a hold on the Wolves. And so they will have to back that one up a little bit.
But now we're going to get our first taste of the offense tonight. Cooper Canton, son of Coach Canton, former UW player.
You know, the Wolves just couldn't get into rhythm last week. You know, Marshall DeWalt really struggled to get going. Cooper's throws were on, but the Peninsula defense swarmed it.
We'll see if his wide receivers can out there because you said you coach him in baseball and he's got an arm.
So Cooper Canton out of the shotgun. Marshall DeWalt behind him. Canton takes a low snap, gets it, hands it off to Marshall DeWalt, spins off a tackler, breaks another, hammers another guy down, and Marshall DeWalt drives forward for about 6, maybe 7 yards.
Turning nothing into something.
Literally more than that, more like 8 yards. Marchad, very tough to bring down. As we said, 5'5", 256 pounds. He also runs a 5-second 40, so he's not a slow man. And he just gets that head down and barrels through. You really got to hit him low in gang tackle, which...
I've played against him, and he runs me over. He is a truck.
Yeah, and you're not a small guy.
Yeah.
Here we go back. Cooper Canton now 2nd and 2 after the 8-yard run from DeWalt. And we've got a flag before the play. Maybe somebody jumped.
Yeah, those
might have been an illegal formation. So that'll back the Wolves up 5 more yards. So we'll be looking at a 2nd and 7 now. Again, Canton out of the shotgun. Coach talked about maybe not doing shotguns all the time. They were having a lot of trouble with the snaps. And the first one was a little bit low. That one's on target. Play action, throws across the middle. He's got a man, and a nice defensive play there. Number 24, Christian Reed.
Maynard was not open for that one.
Braden Maynard, the intended target, and yeah, good coverage there. Christian Reed right there with Maynard. And Cooper puts it out in front to where either Maynard's going to get it or nobody will. So that's his look, that's his read, that's his shot. He just put it in a position where nobody could get it, and that's what you want to do there instead of throwing the pick. So as we go 3rd and 7 now from the 39-yard line, Cooper Canton again in the shotgun. It's the snap, drops back, looks left, throws right. Got Maynard again, who's tackled immediately after about he probably lost about a yard.
And they'll send out their punting team.
Punt team will come out. Actually, looks like about the line of scrimmage. So 4th and 7 from the 39.
Now, Cooper Canton's also the punter, and I think he's got a really good leg. We'll see in just a minute.
All-league punter last year. The last 2 years, actually. He was an all-league punter as a sophomore as well.
We don't see that often, but it's nice seeing players take multiple roles.
Talked about this a little bit last week. Cooper Canton really good at getting the nose down on the football and getting the roll. Let's see if he can get a nice punt off here. Snap's good. Kick is up, and it's a boom. And again, gets that nice south roll, and they're going to let it go. Not able to field it, and that drops all the way inside the 15-yard line. A solid punt from Cooper Canton. Like I was just saying, he seems to always get that nose down and get the roll, and it's exactly what happened there. He gets a good roll all the way inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. So Olympia starts off deep in their own territory.
Offense hasn't gotten much done so far, but the defense and special teams is really doing it for the Wolves.
So Caden Wilson again under center. Takes that quick throw to the outside. He's got a man on the outside. That's number 14, Colin Quarter, the all-league receiver. He goes ahead for about 6 yards. Taking it to about 21 yard, about 6-7 yards there. Olympia out quick. Quick snap, hands it to Brooks up the middle. He's got some running room, breaks a tackle, and then eventually taken down at about the 35-yard line by Miles Huff.
And company.
And Jacob Lewis in on that one.
You know, one thing I've noticed about this Wolves defense is they're always swarming the ball. You see one person go after it, then everyone else is on it.
Yeah, you got to do that, especially with Brooks, a solid running back. Not a small guy. He's about 5'8", 185, strong kid. As he rolls off to the side, he's got a man wide open, number 15, Jacob Bradshaw, but he can't reel it in. Off the hands. Well-designed play there, but Bradshaw unable to bring it in, so the Bears looking at a 3rd down now.
The rest of the secondary was great on that play. They just left that one guy open. Big opportunity, but...
Run up the middle again. Got a little bit of running room and drags all the way out. Looks like he's probably got the 1st down. Brooks with another solid run. Noah French in on that tackle. Noah French having a good game so far tonight.
Let's see if he can reel in another pick 6.
So stopping the run, that was an issue last week. Major Ali from Peninsula ran a couple of solid runs, especially up the middle, and it's really got to stop that middle run.
That's
so Wilson back under center. Motion to his left, I formation, hands off to Brooks again. This time he's stacked up immediately.
Nowhere to go on that one.
Noah French again in on that one. 62, Elijah Griffin, the 6'4", 323-pound junior, biggest guy on the team, also in on that one. And a couple other Wolves jumping in behind, Raymond Marin and a few others coming in to stop Brooks before he can get going.
Noah French isn't an official captain, but he really has been leading the defense this season for everyone. He's a good, positive guy, good teammate.
So Olympia loses a yard, looking at 2nd and 11. Again, I formation. Wilson under center. Pitches it this time out to Brooks, who's got a little bit of running room to the outside.
Brooks knocking people over.
Just barreling people. Noah French went for the strip, missed it, came back, and ends up making the tackle, along with Dominic Vargas and Miles Huff. So a big run for Brooks there, and he'll move the chains again, as he takes it inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line.
Ross Escolta being subbed in for the Wolves.
Under center again, hands it to the up back this time, and he drives forward for about maybe 2 yards.
Coach Canton subbing someone in every other play. Looks like he's trying to keep the defense fresh.
Cody Torf at that time on the carry. Bears working quick. They get out of that huddle quick. They want to get to work. Just inside of 6 minutes now left in the quarter. Pitch this time to Brooks to the other side as he breaks another.
Oh,
then he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Wolves. Number 3, Cole Craner picks up the loose ball, and the Wolves have their second turnover of the game. Big defensive stand there when they needed it. And look at those guys coming off the field fired up. So let's see if that'll spark the offense a little bit as the Wolves offense takes over at about the 25-yard line. Leading 7-0 here with about 5:48 left in the quarter.
Cole Craner's the backup quarterback. He doesn't get much time on offense, but he gets it all on defense, and he just really paid off this time.
Couldn't see who was in on the tackle that forced that, but a nice recovery by Craner to jump on that. It looks like the Wolves will go ahead and take a timeout, their first timeout of the half. Coach Canton saw something he didn't like, and he wants to talk it over with his son Cooper and the offensive squad. I don't know if he saw if the Wolves maybe lined up wrong or if he saw something on the defense that he didn't like, but Coach Canton's going to burn a timeout here early and talk it over with the fellas.
I understand that you spoke to Coach Canton a little while ago.
I did talk to Coach Canton earlier today about what his Coach Canton's keys to victory were going to be. So what are you going to take to beat the Olympia Bears, Coach? He says, first we need to stay focused. We really lost focus and got caught up in some of the off-field going on against Peninsula last week and a lot of social media trash talking between the two teams. Taking care of our assignments. Second point was taking care of the assignments. We had some assignment breakdowns, miscommunications that have really hurt us this year, especially last week. And then finally, he said energy and enthusiasm. Coach Canton said that that was his most important key. We played extremely flat in last week's game. He's hoping that with this being a league opener, coupled with last week's blowout loss, the Wolves will come out a little fired up and keep that intensity going. And so far, that's happening.
Absolutely. It has been happening so far, especially on defense.
So as we come out of the timeout, Cooper Canton in the shotgun. Got motion, Marshad DeWalt at his back. Hands it off up the middle to DeWalt. Pounds through for about 2, maybe 3 yards, about 3 yards for Marshad. You know, they talk about the running game being kind of like a boxing match, and if you compare it to a boxing match, it body blows. You know, and when you've got a kid the size of Marshad and as powerful and as strong as he is, pounding at you the entire game, it's going to wear you down. You might stop him at 3 yards here, but later in the game, that's going to be 6 and 10 and 12 and so on.
As the Kitsap son described it, he doesn't just break tackles, he breaks wills.
Exactly. So again, the snap, handoff to DeWalt up the middle, breaks a couple tackles and drives through again. Picks up about 2 more. He was actually caught in the backfield, shook a couple tackles, and actually made a positive out of it. So
I'm not going to lie, one time he put his helmet in my sternum when I was trying to tackle him. Made me cry.
So we're looking at about a 3rd and 5 now. Marshad DeWalt, the first member in South Kitsap history of the 1300 Club and the 1400 Club. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Cooper Canton again in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back, looks to his
Maynard.
man. Maynard, a great catch by Maynard, and he's wrapped around the head and dropped at about the 40-yard line. First down, Wolves. Nice throw, nice catch. Just a nice play by the Wolves there. Don't move the chains.
He almost broke free of that second guy. He would have been out of here.
Yeah, he had one guy. If he could have shook that one guy, but we'll take the first down, about 40-yard line. I was talking about Marshad and being a member of the 13 and 1400 club. Coach Canton said he's going to have 2 shirts made for him, one for him to wear and one for him maybe to frame, being the only person in South Kitsap history to break those landmarks.
You know,
Again, we're first and 10, Cooper Canton from the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands off to DeWalt to the right side. He's got some run room
Wide
over that
field.
side as he drives ahead for about 13 yards. And another Wolves first down. And I am telling you, when you got that kid coming downhill on you with that size and that speed, he is going to do some damage. Great hole on the right side. Elijah Griffin, biggest player on the South Kitsap team, helping to lead that run.
Olympia got lucky there. He was wide open there. He had one person on that. But South's got a lot of people that I think are going to do great things.
So the Wolves will take over first and 10 from the 46. Cooper Canton again in the shotgun. So far the snaps have not been an issue as he hands off again to the wall to the right side, shakes a couple tackles, and he gets back to about the line of scrimmage. Might have got one out of it. Looks like Marshad DeWalt's going to be a busy man tonight as Olympia's really struggling to slow him down.
One thing you see a lot of him, Marshad, he's just going to shove you out of his way. He could probably bench me just with one arm, and that's just him shoving you out of his way. You got to get a whole swarm of people on him if you want to take him down.
Well, he does bench over 350 pounds. He squats over 700 pounds. Just an unbelievably strong kid. Eastern Washington's on his radar now, so we'll see how things go with Marshad. Cooper Canton again back, takes a low snap, fakes it to DeWalt, rolls out to his left. He's got a man deep looking for Vargas, and we're going to get a flag on that. That's a no-brainer flag there. Pass interference, pass intended for Dominic Vargas, the 5'11", 200-pound senior.
Everything seems to be going Southways tonight.
And there's the call, pass interference on the defense. That'll be an automatic first down. You know, when you're on defense of a receiver, you have to be looking back to make a play on the ball. And I didn't catch the number of the guy defending that, but it was definitely just put his hands up. That never did look for the ball, and that's going to draw a flag every time. So the Wolves get themselves another first down and a promising drive as they are down to the 30-yard line now, looking to put some more points on the board and put a little pressure on Olympia. Canton again in the shotgun. Got motion. Takes the snap, hands off to DeWalt up the middle. He's got a big hole up the middle. Stuffed
Shoving
quick,
him out of the
still
way.
blocking people away from him. Shugging tackles. Look, if he would have cut back to that right side, I think he might have got a little bigger gain out of that. But went to the left side, drug a couple of Bears with him. Takes it down to about the 27-yard line. We'll take about a 3-yard gain for Marshad DeWalt.
You know, you can't just lie down on the ground and grab Marshad by his ankles. He's just going to slip out of you.
Yeah, we talked about how well the Wolves are gang tackling tonight, and the Bears aren't necessarily doing that, and that's what's hurting them right now. You cannot tackle Marshad one-on-one, I'll tell you that. So Canton again in the shotgun, hands it off again to DeWalt.
Flag flies.
This time they do stack him up pretty good. Got a flag on the play. Looks like DeWalt may have... He might have just got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. So we've got an illegal motion play on the Wolves. That's the flag. That'll back them up a few more yards if Olympia elects to tack on that yardage. I'm assuming they would. The referee's talking it over with the captains. There's number 44, Clay Markoff, the junior linebacker all-league. And Olympia will decline it to bring up a 3rd and 7 now for the Wolves.
Interesting call there.
Kind of rolling the dice with that. You know, I think they would rather take a play off the board and make the Wolves go for a little bit longer than to give them 2 chances at 12 yards. They're going to give them 1 shot at 7 yards. Kind of a roll of the dice there by the old coach. See if it pays off for him or if the Wolves make it hurt. Cooper Canton now again out of the shotgun. Marshad DeWalt behind him. Miles Huff in the motion. Cooper's got trips to his right. He's got Van Giesen to his left. Looks
to Van
right,
Giesen.
throws left and
Overthrown.
Looks like Van Giesen got tied up a little bit with defensive back. No flags on the play. They're going to call that incidental contact. So Coach Canton's first real decision of the game. 4th down and 7 from the 27. Decide whether he's going to pooch punt or have the Wolves go for it. It looks like he's not making a decision at all. He is going for it. You know, it's not bad field position. They don't get it. Being on the 27-yard line, fairly deep on their side of the ball. The way the defense is playing,
they have the lead, you know.
I think
they have that confidence.
I think Coach Canton's making the right call here. Let's see if it pays off when we get the first down. Cooper Canton again out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back, looks to his left. He's got a man. That's Jacob Lewis right by the flag, by the first down marker, and it looks like he's going to be a little bit short.
Great effort on the offense that drive.
Tackled immediately. Great tackle there. Again, I couldn't see the number, but caught Lewis because Lewis can fly. And if he could have broken through on that, he could have gone all the way.
That was a long drive, though. That was at least like 4 minutes.
Long drive, took up a lot of time. It beat up the defense a little bit. Exactly what the Wolves want to do. So even if you don't put up points, you're still making a point.
And
so the handoff to Brooks again. He's stacked up, and he cannot break free. And he is stopped after a small gain.
And South's defense has had plenty of time to stretch out and get ready.
Jager Bersheim on the tackle, along with Ross Escalta. Looks like they stopped him just about after maybe 2 yards. 2nd and 8 now. Wilson again under center. Pitch now to Brooks. Noah French there again to hold him up. The rest of the defense comes along. Escalta again on there. Cole Craner comes up for a little bit of help. And the Wolves stack him up after no gain. 3rd and 8. Inside of a minute, come up on about 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Wolves lead it early 7-0 on the pick 6 by Noah French.
Noah French is hungry tonight.
He's having a great game so far on defense. He's fired up. So Wilson takes it out of shotgun. Looks across the middle. Nice defensive play. Raymond Marin, Cole Craner, both there. I think looks like Craner got a piece of that one. Knocked it away from the intended receiver, number 14, Colin Porter. The all-league wide receiver from Olympia, not able to pull that one in. So with about 21 seconds left in the quarter, the Bears are going to punt again.
3 and out. Impressive standing by the defense.
I tell you what, this is a revamped defense after last week. I'm telling you now,
it's a completely different team so far, what I see.
So back to punt, no rush on it. He'll get the punt off easily. Jacob Lewis going to let it bounce, and it takes a nice Bears roll. There is a flag on the play. Bears down it at about the 30-yard line with about 10 seconds left in the quarter. Again, flag on the play. We'll see what we got going here. Refs getting together to talk about it.
Now, I spoke with Cooper earlier today, and they're taking this team really seriously. He says it's going to be a close game. There's a lot of similarities between these teams. Both have really solid running games.
Got a hold on the Wolves, so that's going to back them up 10 more yards, take them all the way down to the 20-yard line. Yeah, I think last week's loss was an eye-opener for the Wolves. You know, they came out a little flat, and they got pounded by a good football team, and this is a good football team. And like you said, this is the league opener, and you want to come out here and get a W and kind of prove to the league Olympia is one of the favorites. So here we go again. Cooper Canton out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 from the 20. Hands off to DeWalt, who looks for running room on the outside. Runs out of room, but he does gain about 3 yards on the play. Knocked out of bounds. About the 22-yard line. About a 2-yard gain from our shot.
About 4.5 seconds left in this first quarter. Probably just enough for one play.
Oh, they dropped it back even further. Looks like about a 1-yard gain now for Marshad DeWalt. So 2nd and 9 from about the 21-yard line as Cooper Canton gets to play from head coach Eric Canton. Actually, Coach Bartanian is calling the offense this year. Coach Canton has taken over calling the defensive plays this year. So Cooper Canton, the offense. Cooper out of the shotgun. Takes a snap, drops back, looks to his left. He's got him, man. Van Giesen with a nice play as he jumps up, and that's going to end the quarter as he pulls that in at about the 25-yard line. 40-yard pass for Cooper Canton.
Ian Van Giesen using that 6'3" frame to his advantage.
Yeah, he jumped up and pulled that one down. So after 1 quarter of play, the Wolves lead at 7-0.
And you hear the wonderful SKHS band.
There's the SK High band led by Gary Grams. Always a talented group. I really enjoy listening to our band.
Yeah, myself as well. And of course, this crazy student section.
So that, getting back to Marshad DeWalt and his 1400 club that he's the lone member of, just for those who have to know what that club is, it entails. It's the bench press, your clean, and your squat, the combination of those. And his combination is over 1,400 pounds. That's very impressive. Very strong guy, Marshad DeWalt.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to run into him in a dark alley for sure.
Well, we're in a well-lit field, and I'm pretty sure these guys don't want to be run over by him. As we take a look at the league standings here, Bellarmine Prep 1-1, Gig Harbor 2-0. Everybody starting league play tonight. Timberline actually knocked off Yelm yesterday. Everybody else under league play tonight. Bellarmine at 1-1, Gig Harbor 2-0, Olympia coming in 1-1, South coming in 1-1. Stadium's 0-2, Timberline's 2-1, and Yelm also at 2-1.
So this early in this season, it's pretty much anyone's league at this point.
Absolutely, but you want to make a statement in that first game. Timberline did it yesterday. The Wolves trying to do it today. Canton again out of the shotgun. Takes a snap, another good snap. Got a man on the outside as Miles Huff shakes a tackler, still on his feet and taken down at about the 30-yard line. He is going to be close to a first down. See what kind of a spot he gets. That ball placed right on the 30-yard line. Looks like the yard marker is right about on the 30-yard line, and we may get a measurement here. And they are going to call him short. So he's 4th and inches, and it looks like the punt team is coming out. Huff comes up just short, and the punt team is on. Cooper Canton back to punt. 2-time all-league punter, also the quarterback. So, you never know. You could get something interesting here. But Coop's going to go ahead and punt her off. Nice high punt, fair catch made at about the 36-yard line by Joel Jones, the junior, 5'10", 160-pound junior. So the best field position to start for Olympia this time is they start at about the 37-yard line, 1st and 10. And the South defense has just been on fire tonight, all over the ball. Noah French really having a game.
Curious to see if Olympia's quarterback, Caden Wilson, can run because he's 6'5".
So Wilson flips one out after the play action, finds a man on the sidelines. That's Colin Quarter, and he'll take it down to, where is he, about the 44-yard line, looks like. So he's going to be about 3 yards short, maybe. Nice little pitch and catch there after the play action from Wilson. Wilson was the starting quarterback for Olympia his sophomore year and then lost the job his junior year. And then he went out to receiver last year, and now he's back under center this year as he hands to the up back who drives forward, and he'll get the first down after about a 5-yard carry. Cody Torsvet. Looks like the guy they call on for the short yardage plays. He's a 5'10", 180, but he sure looks bigger than that from here. Strong guy as he pushed about 3 Wolves forward for about 3 more yards. So coming up on midfield at about the, they just passed midfield. They're on the Wolves' 48-yard line, 1st and 10.
tackle by the center.
Bears trying to work quick as they're moving the chains now. Again, Caden Wilson, I formation under center. Drops back, looks to his left, throwing, and
got a
he
man.
just throw that away.
He had a man open. Number 14, Colin Coder.
So incomplete, nice defense by the Wolves. There were several guys in the neighborhood there. So Wilson's not able to connect to Quarter. So 2nd and 10 from the 48-yard line. Again, Bears quick to the ball. Wilson under center, takes a snap, hands it to Brooks, who's wrapped up in the backfield, maybe gains a yard. That's Jacob Miller.
Gains about 2 yards on the play.
After about a 2-yard gain, Jacob Miller pulls him in. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 8 now from about the 46-yard line.
Miller did a great job shedding his blocker on that play.
I tell you, this defense, I'm sure that Coach Canton and the rest of the boys, Coach Williams and those guys, I'm sure they got after him after last week's rather embarrassing loss. These guys look rejuvenated and fired up. So back under center again, and we're going to have a flag. Looks like we got some motion.
Looks like it's going to be a false start.
Somebody moving a little bit early, it looks like.
Yep.
Oh, no, so the timeout was called before the play. So the timeout was called before the play. No flag. And the Bears will take their first timeout on a pretty big 3rd and 9 now from about the 47-yard line. So big play for them right now, Curtis, with 10 minutes left, down by 7. You're trying to get something going, trying to move the ball.
So far, it's all been defense, and that's all that's scored so far.
Noah French with the pick 6 about 50 seconds into the game. Let's get a little look at the band doing their thing down there. Some of the SK superfans joining the band.
Third and 9 for the Olympia Bears.
3rd and 9, Curtis, from the 48-yard line. Wilson's under center again.
It's getting loud in here.
Superfans getting fired up. They hand it off now to Brooks, and he breaks a couple tackles and
Brooks.
takes it all the way inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line. Wolves definitely not looking for a run play on a 3rd and long, and Brooks takes it all the way down to the 15. First down and some. Broke a couple tackles. He's a big, strong, powerful back as well.
He's dragging a couple people behind him.
So the Bears quick to the line again. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Hands it off to Brooks again, who runs to the right side. He's got some running room again, takes it all the way down.
There's a touchdown.
That he did get in. I didn't see a call from the refs, but he got in. So touchdown Bears after Brooks's 15-yard touchdown runs. That was back-to-back 15-plus yard runs up the middle, and the Wolves going to need to work on shutting down that run game again.
Bears trying to tie it up now with the extra point.
So Skylar Davis on attack on the extra point. Snaps a little high, but he gets it down. Kick is up, and it is good, and we are tied now at 7 with just about 9.5 minutes left in the half.
It's getting intense in this division game.
Like I said, both teams know how big the first game. You want to get out of the gate quick. You want to show everybody. The Wolves trying to make a statement after last week. Last week's tough loss come up against the Olympia Bears, who, I said, was opened up as the number 10 team in the state for 4A. Even though they lost last week to the Capital Cougars, still a solid football team over there. So, and the Wolves know it.
And I'm sure they really study each other. I go on morning runs sometimes, and I go into the locker room, and I see Coach Canton in his office looking at footage. These teams know each other very well.
Absolutely. Olympia, a well-coached football team. Bill Beattie in his 20th season as the Bears head coach. I can only go back on the records 10 years on him, but he's 80-29 over the past 10 years. Very impressive record for the Bears head coach. Coach Canton, his second year, coming into the season at 10-10, now 11-11 after splitting the first 2 games. So Skylar Davis on to kick off. Jacob Lewis and Miles Huff back deep. Peninsula absolutely stayed away from those two. They kept pooch pumping, squids pumping, kicking, excuse me, and Olympia is going to follow suit. They squib kick it.
You know, we've been talking a lot about how this team is reamped, and you know, Coach Ken really preaches to his players that they need to get better every week, even if they won the week before. They learned that lesson after last week, you know, winning against CK in the season opener and then losing the Peninsula. There's always room for improvement in any team.
So that was the upback Mikey Garcia who fielded that one, took it forward a little bit. So the Wolves actually get pretty good field position out of this, the 35-yard line. How about the 37-yard line? Canton again out of the shotgun. Snap is good. Marshad DeWalt looking for some running room. Finds it to the left side. Breaks a tackle and drags 3 Bears. About 3 extra yards for him. And that's about a 12-yard gain for Marshad DeWalt and a first down for the Wolves. Just under 9.5 to go in the half. Marshad DeWalt tried to get that one up the middle. There was nothing there. He bounced it out to the left. Found some running room. And 3 Bears.
It's funny you say 3 Bears because he probably could drag 3 literal Bears behind him.
He probably could. So a nice first down run for Marshad DeWalt and the Wolves as they look to move again as they're coming up on midfield about the 49-yard line. Canton again out of the shotgun.
About 9 minutes left in this half.
Again, hands it off to Marshad DeWalt. Looks got running room to his left as he takes his head down, still on his feet. Dragging Bears with him.
His
And
blockers.
another 13, maybe 14-yard gain for Marshad DeWalt. Another Wolves first down.
Everyone on offense was blocking someone on that play. Impressive effort by this offense.
Well, you know, if you're going to be successful, that's what you need. You can't have anybody taking any plays off. The offensive line, which was a big question mark for the Wolves coming into this season, weren't sure how they were going to do. The only returning player from last year's offensive line, center Will Gatlin, is kind of anchoring this. It's Cooper Canton back now in the shotgun. Marshad DeWalt behind him. See, they hand it to him for the 3rd play in a row. They will not. And Canton's going to look deep, and he's got a man. Braden Maynard lays out, can't pull it in.
Great defense by number 24, Olympia. Christian Reed.
Braden Maynard lays out. He got a hand on it, but not quite able to pull it in. That would have been an amazing grab. But the Wolves took a shot at the end zone that time. So 2nd and 10 now from the 35-yard line. About 8.5 minutes to go in the half. Tied at 7-7. Canton out of the shotgun again. Takes the snap, hands off to DeWalt up the middle, and he breaks another tackle, cuts to the outside, and inside the 20-yard line, a shoestring tackle.
Derek Bueller barely got that under him.
Derek Bueller, the all-league defensive back, makes a shoestring tackle, but Marshad DeWalt with another big run as he takes it inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 19 for the Wolves. Just about 8 minutes to go here in the half, and they're looking to put some more on.
Marshad's been great this season, but so far he's the only one on offense for the touchdown. So we'll see if they manage to get someone else to get some.
So Canton again out of the shotgun. Takes the snap.
Fake
Fakes
to
to DeWalt,
Marshad.
looking deep again. He's got an Ian Van Giesen deep and just overshoots him.
Van Giesen looking for his first shot.
A little deep for Van Giesen, just a little bit overthrown. Coverage was there, but he had a step on him. Would have been a tight throw, but rather overshoot him and throw it out than undershoot him and get it picked. So
Ian Van Giesen can really run. He's in track, and he used to be on cross country with me. He's got endurance and he's got speed.
6'3", 185 pounds is senior Ian Van Giesen. So 2nd and 10 now from the 19. Canton again out of shotgun. Has been there the entire season. Has not taken a shot from under center yet this year. Takes the snap, hands it off to DeWalt up the middle, and he's met after about a 2-yard gain by pretty much most of their linebackers and half of their line to bring him down. So he'll get about a yard out of it. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 9, about the 18-yard line.
Olympia defense playing real tight coverage in this drive.
First time they had stopped Marchot in the past 3 or 4 runs. So coming up on the 7-minute mark now.
Logan Coots in for the Wolves now. Wide receiver.
Canton out of the shotgun again. Sends his man in motion. Takes a snap. Oh, a blitz coming to the outside. Shakes a tackler. Throws across his body to the
Logan
end
Coots.
zone. Coots had a shot at it, not able to pull it in. The 5'10 senior, Logan Coons, just out of his reach. So again, it's decision time for Coach Canton.
Looks like they're going to kick it.
Looks like the field goal unit is coming on. We talked about Nolan Souza and his big leg. So from the 18-yard line, so you're looking at about a 35-yard field goal. Miles Huff, the holder.
From the right hash.
Nolan Souza, the junior, back to kick. Snap is good. Ball's down. Kick is up, and it is good. And Nolan Souza gives the Wolves the 10-7 lead with just under 7 minutes left in the half. And that ball would have been good from about 10 more yards, Curtis.
Yeah.
That's probably good from at least 45 yards.
Yeah, he's got a leg. He can sink him in.
Talked about Souza and his big leg.
You mentioned he was all league.
He's a 5'10", 198 junior, so he's not a small kid. Kind of big legs on him. So the Wolves take the lead after a nice drive, exactly what they needed to do.
As you may notice, South's not wearing school colors. They're showing neon tonight to support their friends on the football team. And then, of course, the band.
The band playing the South Kitsap fight song after every score. And you did see the bright colored neon out that the Wolves fans are sporting tonight. Lots of neon colors down there. Brings back good memories for me being a child of the 80s. Those were real popular things when I was in school.
Yeah, we seem to be reamping a lot of generations of clothing these days.
That's very true. So Souza's set to kick it off now as the Wolves have taken the 10-7 lead here in the second quarter. About halfway through the second quarter now, Souza back to kick. Put it in the end zone last time. That's about a 60-yard kick, pretty good shot. This time he's going to shorten it up a little bit, field it at about the 8-yard line now, takes it out across the 20 and across the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
Ross Escolta.
Brought down there, Garrett Smith, Ross Escolta on the tackle. So good kickoff coverage. Not too bad a field position. 27-yard line for the Bears.
South had a good long drive this last one, so the defense has been rested.
Absolutely.
6 minutes 45 in the half.
And the Bears scored on them last time, so they're probably going to be a little bit fired up from that. So Wilson under center, Brooks the lone back. Hands off to him, breaks one to the outside, dragging a couple of Wolves down to about the 32-yard line or so. So about a 4, maybe 5-yard gain for Brooks.
He didn't get brought down, but they wouldn't let him move any further.
So the Bears break huddle quick. Back to the line. Got some whistles here. Somebody calling a timeout. And yep.
You mentioned earlier that Eastern Washington was looking at Marchot, and it just so happens that our defensive lineman coach, Renner Williams, graduated from Eastern Washington in 2007. He's our new coach this season.
He graduated from South, yes, South in 2007. Yeah, Coach Bernard Williams was brought back this year to help out the defensive line. So Coach Canton and the Wolves take their second time out of the half. Coach Canton, something in the defense he didn't see or something in the offense of the Bears setup that he didn't like, so he will take his second timeout. Olympia went 7-3 last year, but failed to make the playoffs due to the loss to Central Kitsap and the tiebreaker rule, so they missed the playoffs last year. It doesn't happen to them a lot. They've had some really impressive seasons past couple of years.
Yeah, you mentioned their coach from the last 10 years is, what, 83 and...
He was 80 and 29 over the last 10 years. So, you know, when you only play 10 or 12, I think their season's only 10 or 11 games long, and to win 8, that's an average of 8 a year. It's pretty impressive.
Coach Canton on his third season. It's been a little back and forth, trying to make this their good season.
Wilson fakes the handoff, rolls out, throws across his body. Nice grab there. Coulter again, Cole Craner on attacker, came up with the ball, but it looks like he was down. Colin Corder on the catch again. As we said in the beginning, that's Wilson's favorite target, and he's hit him a few times tonight, and he's looked at him a few times tonight. So
his defense really needs to stop Brooks so they don't want him scoring.
Wilson and the Bears now trying to get something going as they're across midfield to about the 47-yard line. Hands it off to Brooks, looking for some running room. Shakes a tackle and takes it down to about the 40-yard line. About a 7-yard gain. Isaiah Brooks, another busy guy tonight. And he's slowly but surely racking up some yards here against this Wolves defense.
Wolves subbing in a few people, including Jordy Gondola at nose guard.
So call that about a 6-yard run. We're looking at 2nd and 4. Hands it off to Brooks again. Gets a few yards and then stacked up. Stacked up by the Wolves. That's number 21, Dominic Vargas, in on that one.
His defense not giving up.
Ian Van Giesen also in on that tackle. Called his name a couple times on offense this year, but he's getting some defensive time as well. So 1st and 10 from the 36, and the Bears driving again. Little trickery this time as they fake the handoff to Brooks. End up giving it to Torsvit, and he takes it for another Bears first down as he takes it down to about the 25-yard line. It looks like we've got an injured Wolf on the play. He's that Miles Huff holding his arm there. Yeah, Miles Huff now holding his left arm, and he'll come off the field.
Must have gotten twisted up in the tackle. Mr. Hyatt, the athletic medicine director, attending to him.
So they run the same play again, and the ball's on the ground, fumble. Looks like he may have recovered a bunch of Wolves there, but he does recover his own fumble. Again, Cody Torsvit, as they ran the same exact play, but this time Torsvit's unable to hold on. A little exchange with the quarterback. So coming up on about 4.5 minutes to go in the half. Wolves lead at 10-7. Bears break the huddle quickly. Wilson under center. Hands it to Brooks up. Hammered hard. Number 41, Mikey Garcia, with a nice pop there, but still about a 4, maybe 5-yard gain for Brooks.
Mikey Garcia's solid. He's 5'10 and 218. 5'11 and 218.
And he's just a junior. He's a hard hitter. So again, Wilson under center. Brooks the lone back. Hands it to Brooks again. He's got some running room up the middle, and he is going in. Touchdown, Bears. Jacob Lewis gets there, but it's a little too late, and the Bears have taken their first lead of the game, 13-10, pending the extra point. So Isaiah Brooks starting to get loose here in the second quarter. Had him pretty tamed in the first quarter, but he's starting to break a few runs here on the Wolves.
Now, Coach Canton's probably going to be talking to him about that in halftime. He's really been the factor for the Bears this far.
There's a flag on the play, got a personal foul against the Wolves.
Looked like it was an unnecessary roughness.
So that's a dead ball personal foul. So, yeah, you're right, Curtis. A little extracurricular play after the play.
He was already in the end zone, and someone just threw him down.
So that will be enforced on the kickoff. So Olympia will kick from 15 yards further in.
Wolves will have less than 4 minutes to.
And they're going to go for
back.
2 here. Throws to the outside. He's got a couple
Flag
blockers.
flies.
Another flag. He does get in. The 2-point conversion is good, but there is a flag on the play. Number 31, Matt Anthony.
You don't see 2-point conversions much in high school.
Only list him as the strong safety, so he probably doesn't get a lot of offensive play, and that is on the Bears. So they will try again for either an extra point or a 2-point conversion. I don't see any kickers coming out, so it looks like they're going to stay with the 2-point conversion. Interesting call, because if you don't get this, field goal ties it for the Wolves. If you just kick the extra point, you got a 4-point lead. Oh, and they are going to kick the extra point now.
Yeah, didn't work out last time, so they figured, why not?
So it's about a 25-yard extra point as they back them up just a little bit. The kick is up, and it is good, and the Bears now have a 14-10 lead over the Wolves. But plenty of time, Curtis. Just under 4 minutes to go. The Wolves have plenty of time to move the chains, get the ball downfield, and try to get another score.
And it's a much closer game than last time, so the Wolves can't be too worried.
And I started to tell you, the Wolves' offensive line was kind of a question mark coming in. It was kind of an issue last year. Will Gatlin, the senior, is the only returning starter for the Wolves' offensive line, but he's got some big juniors around him. 6'4", 323-pound Elijah Griffin, and 6'2", 264-pound Daniel Ferguson, as well as a couple of good-sized sophomores. 6'2", 246 Jacob Miller, and 6'1", 240 Jager Bersheim. Got some big boys on that offensive line,
yeah.
and then you can see they're making some holes for Marshad DeWalt. Exactly what you need for a guy like Marshad DeWalt. You give that guy some room, and he's going to make some plays.
Marshad's the only one on offense who's scored so far on this team, so maybe they'll just keep going with him.
3 touchdowns the opening week from Marshad DeWalt. 3 rushing touchdowns. So after they enforce the penalty, the Bears will be kicking off from the Wolves' 45-yard line. Skylar Davis to kick off. Let's see if he'll try to kick it over our backs. And he will try. And he does. Fielded in the end zone.
Yeah, I don't understand why they can't return from the end zone. I never heard about that rule before until today.
That's freshman Dustin Garcia, who's in receiving punts in place of injured Miles Huff. Dustin Garcia, freshman, 5'9", 165 freshman. Another kid that I coach in baseball, and that kid can fly as well. So got some wheels. We got some wheels there in our secondary.
Interestingly, you mentioned freshmen. This is only the second year in this district that we've allowed freshmen to come up to these sports. Freshmen come up for every sport at South now.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing freshmen make the varsity squad.
You don't see that very often. All right, so here we go. Cooper Canton again out of the shotgun. Hands it off to DeWalt, who's got some running room, cuts it back, to the middle, he breaks through to midfield, and it looks like a horse tackle. It is. Marshad DeWalt takes it all the way to the 45-yard line, and he is fired up. Looks like we're going to get a horse collar tackle at the end of that, which will tack on another 15 yards and take the Wolves down to about the 25-yard line. So exactly what the Wolves needed. Let's check in and see what exactly that is. That is a personal foul. They're calling it a face mask. I think it was probably a horse tackle, but they're calling it a face mask. Regardless, it's a personal foul. It's 15 extra yards for the Wolves.
That hole was so big that the offense made Godzilla could have ran through that.
My goodness. And then Marshad, a couple of nice walks, breaks a tackle, jukes a guy. That's another thing. It's a powerful kid.
Only way you can tackle him is with a group or with a horse collar.
But he can move. He's so light on his feet. And so he juked a couple of guys and just had a great run by DeWalt. And you see how fired up he was when he got up. So they're taking it to the 30-yard line, but that should have been a 15-yarder. That should have gone to about the 25. Now they're talking it over. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Marshad did take that ball to the 40-yard line before he was tackled. So I don't have official stats on Marshad. I believe that would take him over 100 yards.
He's probably ran at least half of that in this game.
Yeah, that was about a 40-yard run on its own. He ran that from the 20-yard line to the 40. So I'm pretty sure Marshad's over 100 yards for this second time this season in 3 games. Ran for 156 against Central Kitsap 2 weeks ago and 3 touchdowns. And this is kind of reminiscent of that game. Marshad, they're really having trouble stopping him.
It's kind of been back and forth with both teams in the running game. I have a feeling this is just going to be a battle.
So it looks like it's a time issue. They're trying to get the time reset. Because we went from about 3:41 to about 30 seconds. So we've got to get the clock reset. You may have noticed the Wolves are wearing black and white stickers on their helmets, and that's as a memorial to former longtime SK head baseball coach and assistant coach Elton Goodwin, who passed away last November, and also in remembrance of former SK football player Josh Osborne, a junior here at South Kitsap, who was killed in a tragic hiking accident this past July.
I heard great things about both of them, especially Elton Goodwin. I had the pleasure of doing a news story on him, and he's just impacted the lives of many.
So Canton again out of the shotgun. Good snap. Hands it off to DeWalt up the middle. This time stacked up at the line of scrimmage and not able to get anywhere on this one. So a rare stop for Olympia at the line of scrimmage on Marshad.
Less than 3 minutes left to go.
I had the pleasure of coaching Josh Osborne in baseball and Marcus Whitman when I was the junior varsity coach there. Just a great kid, always happy, always smiling. Did have the privilege of meeting Coach Goodwin a couple of times. Just both great guys. Big losses to not only the school but the community. So Canton takes it again, throws it to the outside. He's got Maynard this time, who breaks a tackle and takes it just about to the 22-yard line. So about an 8-yard gain for the Wolves.
Be 3rd and 2 for the Wolves.
That'll bring up, 3rd and 2 from about the 22. So a manageable 3rd down. So a big play there for the Wolves to get a big chunk after Marshad was stacked up on the first down play.
Brandon Maynard isn't the biggest guy out there, but he can run. You get him wide open and he'll run it in.
So Canton again here from the shotgun. Marshad DeWalt in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, hands it off to DeWalt. He's got some room. Barrels a guy, barrels another one. Shakes the tackle, and he is going into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolves. Marshad DeWalt, 22-yard touchdown run, and the Wolves have regained the lead. Well, when it's 3rd and 2 like that, you're just trying to get the first down, and you just give it to that kid, and he just barrels 2 guys and then just breaks it through, takes it all the way in. After the initial contact, just about the line of scrimmage, nobody pretty much touched him, Curtis.
Yeah. Marshad DeWalt reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch. I feel like we should get him some Skittles or something.
Funny you mentioned that. After the Central Kitsap game, the Kitsap Sun wrote an article and entitled it DeWalt Mode. As a contrast to Beast Mode from Seattle Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch. But it's true. I mean, this guy runs hard, and he is very difficult to bring
He
down.
weighs more than Marshawn Lynch, too.
I think he does. So Cooper Canton now will be the holder as Miles Huff went out with an injury. Souza puts it up, and that is way back and good. So the Wolves back in the lead now, to answer that drive from the Bears. I mean, that's got to be pretty disheartening for the Bears. They drive down, they get the lead. South comes right back, goes into DeWalt mode, if you will. Takes the ball all the way downfield.
But they got time. They might come back. This has just been a shootout so far, both teams. I feel like it's been pretty even. But South definitely a lot more momentous than they were their last game.
Marshad rushed for 74 yards on that drive. 6 yards passing and 74 yards rushing. As the Wolves take a 17-14 lead on the Bears with just over 2 minutes, 2:17 left. You see Coach Canton there firing up his defense, saying, hey, boys, let's get a stop. Let's go into halftime with a lead here. Let's build some momentum. The Wolves will get the ball to open the second half. So if they can get a stop here, get the ball back for the second half, drive down, maybe try to extend on that lead a little bit. So Souza lined up to kick off again.
The crowd getting into this one.
Joel Jones back deep for the Bears. And Souza to kick off.
Nice.
And he booms one, and that will get into the end zone. Yes, sir. 60-plus yards into the end zone. I don't know the rule and why exactly you're not allowed to bring it out from the end zone. Maybe it's just a safety issue of some sort, because I know that with the NFL they moved the kicks back so so that you're not as likely to bring them out and get caught up in the wedge. So I believe it's a issue, but you are not allowed to bring kickoffs from the end zone. So 2:15 left in the half. Caden Wilson now out of the shotgun. Looks to his right, throws there. He's got a man. He'll move the chains. First down there after Derek Bueller makes the grab, takes it about 11, maybe 12 yards. Bueller, all-league defensive back, joining the offense this year.
He's one of the main leaders on defense, but he's also plays on offense. Impressive to see it.
Bears quick to the line now, coming up on 2 minutes left. Wilson again out of shotgun, looks left, throwing deep. He's got a man, and it is overthrown. Nice defensive play there by Logan Guerrero, one of the leaders of the defense, a junior.
Logan Guerrero, interesting story. He used to be one of my teammates, and he played for a while. Then he took last year. He came back this year, and he's just been a major player for the defense.
At 5'10", 160, Logan Guerrero can fly, and he can cover the fast receivers all over that receiver. So Wilson now, he hands it off to Brooks up the middle, who stumbles and falls forward for maybe 3 on the play.
Lost the Skolta on that tackle.
So that'll take it to the 35-yard line. Bringing up a third down and about 6 yards to go.
About a minute and a half left in this half.
Could actually get the ball back if they can get a stop here. See if Coach Canton will use his last time out. Hits Coulter to the outside again, looking to get to the outside.
I think he might be short on
it. And he didn't get out of bounds, so the clock's going to continue to run. Logan Guerrero on the tackle. Let's see what the Bears are going to do here. I don't see a punter coming out. Number 61, Kenny Staffney, 6'1", 255 lineman stepping in. Some pretty big boys on the line this year, Curtis.
Yeah, and young ones too. They got a big future ahead of them.
Do have a young offensive line and a young defensive line. Only one starter on each of those lines, offensive and defensive line. It's the same guy, senior Will Gatlin. The rest are all juniors and sophomores, so we'll get to see these guys blowing some holes open next year as well.
A lot of these people are worried about, when Marshad and Cooper and some of those other big seniors leave, but I think in a year or two they can be a really, really developed team.
No question. Every year you have star players that leave, and their stars are going, and how are they going to be next year?
Who's going to fill their shoes, and some guy just steps in.
And somebody always does. You're absolutely right. Somebody always steps up. When Cooper goes, I'm sure Craner or Strutz or one of those guys will step up into the quarterback role. The JV team here's got some solid players as well. Looks like there may have been a penalty that I didn't see on the play because they did back up the Bears.
About 1:05 left in this half.
So it's going to be 3rd down again.
Bears trying to end the momentum of the half in their favor.
So with about 1:05 to go, 3rd and 6. Oh, the referee's conversing again. They're all getting together, make sure they want to get it right. And it looks like they've got it all sorted out. So 3rd and 6 from the 35-yard line. Wilson under center this time. Let's see if they'll hand it off to Brooks as he's been running big. They will not. Rolls out. He's got him, man. And oh, big hit.
Noah French on that tackle.
Noah French and Ross Escalta, but Noah French laid the boom on that hit.
Noah French has been the guy on defense. I'd say he might be on his way to MVP of this game. If we had that at high school.
He really has had a good game, but they're going to be a little short on this one. So with under a minute to go, it looks like the Bears are going to go for it.
4th down, and they're in Wolves territory.
They're not quite there yet. They're just over the 40. They're still on their own side. And after they let about 20 seconds or so run off, the Bears are going to call a timeout. You definitely want to make sure you got the right call here with 30 seconds left. If the Bears fail here, it gives the Wolves a shot with 30 seconds left. They can get 2 or 3 plays off, 3 or 4 plays off that could get them into at least field goal range, if not score a touchdown on it. And the Bears definitely not wanting to see that happen. So 33 seconds left. Bears want to make sure they got the play here. If they get it, then they'll probably go into a little more of a hurry up because they've only got 1 timeout left. Caden Wilson, pretty strong arm. They may try to get downfield a little bit with it. Maybe try to get in the field goal range, try to tie the game. There's a good shot at Coach Denard Lewis, former All-State lineman for the Wolves back in 2007. So here we go, 33 seconds left, 4th and 1 from the 42. Wilson under center, pretty sure he is going to sneak forward and he will get it. The 1st down will stop the clock as they move the chains. And then the referees will blow the whistle back into play and the clock will resume. So 30 seconds left. Bears are up under center. Wilson rolls out, throws off balance. Nice defensive play. Noah French gets a piece of that one.
Almost another one.
Noah French is really having a night. Great to see the senior stepping up. He's had a good year as it is, but this game he is just everywhere. So 23 seconds left, 2nd and 10 now from the 45-yard line, the Bears 45.
His last season on the Wolves, he's trying to make some memories for sure.
Had a big sack last week, and this play's blown dead already. And it looks like South Kitsap will use their last timeout with 23 seconds left here. Pretty sure coach is just telling, hey, you know what, let's just get into a little bit of a softer zone. Don't get beat deep. You know, worst case scenario, they get down and tie the game, but we definitely don't want to let them get behind us, get a cheap play deep, and take the lead on us. So they'll probably go into more of a soft zone, keep the plays in front of them. Olympia's only got 1 more timeout as well, as the chains do stop the clock to move the chains. So as we see the SK Superfans in all their fluorescent glory.
What do you think Olympia's trying to do now?
Olympia, with them being able, they can take quick shots to get 1st downs. They really need 1st downs so they don't have to burn their timeouts. So they don't have to go deep. You know, this is not like college and NFL, because college do that as well, stops the clock. But they need to get some 10-yard gains if they want to keep the drive going and not have to use timeouts. Get down and try to get into field goal position. I mean, they've got a long way to go to get a touchdown. I think they're probably just looking to get into field goal position. So we'll see what they call here as Wilson's back under center. quick to the outside to his man Coulter, who's looking for some blockers, and he's got some. Cuts it back to the inside, and he will not make it to the first down marker. And it looks like Olympia will use their final timeout, and they will. So Quarter takes the ball to inside Wolves territory to about the 43-yard line, it looks like.
14 seconds left in this game.
14 seconds left. They can get us. They can get a. Oh, it looks like he did get the first down. He did get the first down.
Close one.
So he does get the first down, and interesting, they're still going to burn a timeout even though they got the first down. So with 15 seconds left, again, there's no. As long as they can move the chains, they'll be fine. If they get stopped here, it'll be close to be whether they can get another playoff or not. They've probably got a chance for 2 more plays here, possibly 3 if they get a first down. Still, I don't know what kind of a leg their kicker has and what they need for field goal for him. I mean, typically around that 40-yard mark is a pretty good kick for a high school field goal kicker. So Wilson back under center again, drops back. He's looking, still looking, and the ball slips out of his hand. Looked like he started to fake pump and lost it.
Well, he didn't have anyone to throw it to, so maybe it was a spike.
Boy,
Wolves covered that play really well.
I don't think he spiked it. I'm pretty sure they would have called it an intentional grounding. So I think the referees agreed that it probably slipped out of his hand. And by his reaction, you've got to tell after he let it go that probably slipped. So we got about 10 seconds left now. Wolves still leading 17-14. 10 seconds left in the half. Well out of field goal range are the Bears. So they got a chance for one more shot, and then they'll probably have to spike it. Going, he's got him, man, and he makes the catch inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. That's Derek Bueller.
Jeremy Button on that tackle.
So they're going to rush up, they're going to spike this, and then try to get a field goal out of it to tie the game, more than likely, unless they're going to take a shot at the end zone. I would guess now they're somewhat in the field goal range. See what they do, and they do spike it.
So
with about 1.7 left, they spike it to kill the clock, and they will bring on the field goal unit more likely.
So that'll be like a 35-yard field goal.
They're at the 20, so that's a 37-yard field goal. So that's a makeable, but that's a pretty good poke. They're not going for the field goal. They are lining up, so they're going to take one shot at the end zone. So defense should be back in a prevent defense. Looking and got him, man! What a grab! Did he hold on? And he does.
Touchdown to end the half.
Touchdown Bears! What a grab!
Derek Bueller on the touchdown catch.
Derek Bueller, who just joined the offense this year as an all-league defensive back last year, makes a great catch.
He got sandwiched by 2 Wolves and he still held on.
What a throw by Caden Wilson, throwing a double coverage. Bueller gets hammered as he catches it, but holds on. So the Bears now take the lead with no time left on the clock at the half. Very disheartening for the Wolves, and the extra point's good. And at the end of the half now, it's going to be the Olympia Bears 21 and the South Kitsap Wolves 17.
Well, for your halftime enjoyment, let's look on the South Kitsap High School Marching Band. They perform some Daft Punk, and then right after that, we'll show you some highlights from this afternoon's pep assembly. Enjoy the show, and we'll see you after this halftime.
Tonight's halftime show presented by the South Kitsap High School Marching Band under the direction of Gary Graham. Tonight's halftime show is under the direction of Senior Drum Major Aaron Rogers, Junior Drum Major Taylor Reimer, and Field Marshal Jacob Stoll. Tonight you'll be performing a medley of songs from the hit group Daft Punk, featuring senior soloist Ann Adams. We'd like to welcome ninth graders from Cedar Heights, John Sedgwick and Marcus Whitman Junior High, for marching with the band this year. The drum majors of the band would like to thank the senior members of the band, section leaders, parents, and the South Kitsap School District for their support. Ladies and gentlemen, Daft Punk. Kids Marching Band, under the direction of Gary Graham.
We have today for you a special treat, a special mix of staff and students who are about to take the Ice Bucket Challenge right before your eyes. Welcome, Mr. Yingling, Miss Emmons, Miss Fairweather, Alexis Richardson, and Mr. Fairweather, and myself. Whoa, 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 whoa. I forgot to mention who we're challenging. Who do you think we should challenge? Wait, no. We are challenging Superintendent Reed and the entire administration team. Wait, who's this guy? Oh, you must be here to announce the theme for homecoming. Oh, okay. Band, can we have a drum roll, please? Homecoming. Homecoming! All right. Let's have the spirit judges come on out. Oh, they're still deliberate. This might be a close one. All right. Here comes the moment of truth. Here is Mr. Ferguson with the winner of this year's fall.
Yeah, get it going. So we're gonna have some athletes come out here. These are the athletes with the highest GPA. So I'm gonna call you down, and if you would come down and form a line right here. All right, so I'm gonna need Dallin Briggs. If you could, Dallin Briggs. Come on out here, right here. Right here, pal, you're right here. Start the line. I'm gonna need J.D. Jones to come on down. J.D. Jones, come on down here, big boy. Next up, I'm gonna need Sophia Canton to come on down here. Sophia Canton, come on out. Okay, oh, there's Sophia. Anybody? Okay, Sarah Swanson, come on down, Sarah. Sarah Swanson, come on down. And Courtney Schmidt, come on down, Courtney, if she's here. Next up is Jacob Hasselbrock. Come on down, Jacob. See him up there. We're gonna need Aaron Rodgers to come down. Aaron Rodgers in the house.
We are FCCLA and we meet every Wednesday.
Okay, hi. Okay. Hey guys, SKHS, pretty cool. Sorry about that. It's on Wednesdays from 2 to 3. Come join Photo Club, second and fourth Wednesday of every month. Woo!
Be a part of yearbook, something bigger than yourself. Be a rebel. Join yearbook. Come eat.
Young Life Club meets every Monday, 7:27. Tailgate tonight, 6 o'clock before the game. Be there. We're a German club, and we're all about meeting at the German conventions and German food. Germany!
SFA is more than cast styles and class guides. We meet every third Thursday at 6:30. We're an anime club and we love Japanese culture!
Campus life is about building yourself as a person and creating relationships. We meet on Mondays.
Welcome back, everybody. We're just about ready for the second half kickoff. I'm Steve Dickey, along with South Kitsap senior Curtis Keat. Curtis, story of the first half, the rushing game from both teams.
Yeah.
Marshad DeWalt, 15 carries for 134 yards and a touchdown, and that is at the half, not at the end of the game. Cooper Canton, 6 for 11 for 33 yards, and another big story, Noah French with a pick six, and he's had 6 tackles and a pass defense, so he's all over the place. That's what's happening with the Wolves. The story for Ole.
Well, Olympia has a pretty good rushing game too. And their quarterback was getting really good at the pass game towards the end of the half, and he actually had an impressive, touchdown pass to Bueller, Derek Bueller, and it was, he got sandwiched, between two Wolves, and he still caught it, and that's how it ended the first half, and they took a 21-17 lead over the Wolves. But the Wolves will be receiving the opening kickoff for this second half.
Yeah, the Wolves had some momentum going there as they scored on the DeWalt run there at the end. About a 22-yard touchdown power run for DeWalt. Only to have that momentum stumbled a little bit as they gave up a touchdown with no time on the clock. Biggest story, Isaiah Brooks has been huge for them. Running up the middle and even the passing up the middle. They've had a couple of throws in the flats that haven't done much, but the times they've taken shots down the middle, That's where they've gotten their big gains. So the middle of the defense need to tighten up a little bit, and I'm sure they're going to make those adjustments as we go into the second half. Like you said, the Wolves will receive the second half, so they'll have a chance to come back out and put some points on the board, maybe take the lead.
It's been a nail-biter. It's been a close one between these division rivals. And like we've mentioned earlier, this is so far the only important game of the season for them, the first Division I, and both teams taking it very seriously.
So Coach Canton's keys to victory. So we talked to him earlier this week, and then staying focused. That was his number one. That he said we lost a lot of focus, got caught up in some of the off-fields going on last week with the Peninsula and some of the social media stuff. Point number 2 was take care of our assignments. We had some assignment breakdowns and miscommunications that have really hurt us so far this year, and it's actually happened a couple times here in the first half. And then finally, he said energy and enthusiasm. He elaborated that was really the big thing. Played extremely flat in last week's game. Definitely not flat in this one. He's hoping that this being a league opener, coupled by last week's blowout, that they'll come out with some fire early and keep that intensity, and they've done that.
For sure, especially the defense. And Noah French has been a key player on South's defense. He had a pick six 50 seconds into the first quarter, and then along with many tackles and big plays, tipping balls all over the place, he's just been unstoppable tonight.
So the Wolves really are playing well tonight, especially compared to last week. I mean, they're down by a couple of points here, a late score, very late score on an impressive drive from Olympia. But this, like I said, it's a good football team here. They're 1-1, opened up the season as a top 10 team in the state, one of the favorites to win our league. And, the Wolves are right here with them. It's exactly where they want to be. I think they probably would have rather been up 17-14, but, they're right here in the game. Last week they were down, I want to say it was 17-0 or so at halftime, and this week they're down by 4. They got the ball to open the second half, and we're just about ready to kick off here, and we'll see what the Wolves' offense can do.
And really, at this point, it's anyone's game in this league, and both teams are really trying to make a statement, and they've been really aggressive with each other. We'll see who can proceed for this game.
So Davis kicks off, squib kick. Ball's been fumbled in the back line by, looks like that's, and it gets to the outside, breaks a tackle, coming down the sidelines, crosses midfield, run out of bounds at about the 48-yard
Dustin
line.
Garcia.
Freshman Dustin Garcia, I told you, that kid can move. He shook a couple tackles, too, some great moves there, and he takes the Wolves across midfield.
That was a scary play. He almost fumbled it, and then he almost ran it in.
And that happens when a guy, a lot of times, and this is a lack of discipline on Olympia's part, when you see a guy muff a kick, you come out of your lanes. And the guys on the outside came out of their lanes. He was able to recuperate, got to the outside, crossed midfield. So the Wolves have excellent field position to start the second half. Cooper Canton out of the shotgun here at the 46-yard line of Olympia.
Got a play to the whistle.
Canton takes a snap, throws to the outside. He's got Van Giesen.
Van Giesen with his first catch of the night.
Makes a nice catch out at the 41-yard line. Van Giesen, that's his second catch of the night. He had that one leaping catch earlier.
All right, yeah. He's been thrown to a lot tonight, but it's been a difficult game for him.
These short gains, spreading out the defense a little bit, and you get Marshad pounded in the middle, and that's a recipe that can score some points for the Wolves, and we'll see if they can continue this drive here as we go 2nd and 5 from the 41-yard line. Canton once again out of shotgun. Sends his man in motion. Takes the snap, hands off to DeWalt up the middle. Puts his head down, buries his head, and gets maybe a yard back to the line of scrimmage at least, possibly a yard. So that'll bring up a 3rd and about 4, maybe 5. Really? Bears, I'm pretty sure that the Bears, when it went into defense, halftime, we're talking about we've got a key on 23 and stop him in the middle. Really,
also, the key to Marshad getting these long runs is this offense has been giving him some huge holes that Godzilla could run through. And Marshad is a fast guy.
So 3rd and 4 now for the 1-yard run from Marshad DeWalt. Canton again in the shotgun. Ole showing blitz. They come. He's got his man outside. Maynard, the intended receiver. Great diving stop. Christian Reed.
Denied.
Been covering Maynard all night. Great defensive play there as he sticks his arm in there and knocks that one away. So the Wolves looking at a 4th and 4 from the 40, and they will be punting on their first possession. So maybe a wasted opportunity there as they started out across midfield. But it's an opportunity now to pin the Olympia Bears deep.
Cooper Canton, not only a great quarterback, but a great punter.
And here's one of those positions where you're on the field where fakes are a possibility here. Cooper Canton, a very strong arm, very accurate arm. We'll see if he's going to fake or if he's just going to go ahead and try to punt it and try to keep the guys deep. Flag on the play, but Cooper will kick it deep. He kicks it high. Fair catch called for at the 10. Lets it bounce, and it's actually this time takes an Olympia roll and bowls back to about the 13-yard line. We do have a flag on the play. We'll see what that flag is.
It was really early flag.
If that was on Olympia, that could give the Wolves the first down. It would be a 5-yard penalty. But the penalty is against the Wolves. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against them.
Now their defense is back to work.
So that'll bring the ball out to the 18-yard line. I didn't see what the call was, but it was a 5-yard penalty against South. So with 10 minutes to go, Caden Wilson and the Bears take over on their first possession of the second half. A little end around, snuffed out, number 41, Mikey Williams, right there for a big 5-yard loss. Takes him down back at the 12, maybe 13-yard line.
Colin Coder almost lost that one. It was a kind of a far pitch, and he gained control of it, but then by then it was too late.
And I talked about discipline and stuff. They ran a misdirection. Mikey Williams came up, stayed in his lane, and when Coulter got there, Mikey Garcia was there as well. So a long 2nd and 16 now. They hand to Brooks, who pounds ahead for maybe 2 yards. Mikey Garcia again in on that tackle. Noah French there as well. So that takes him up to about the 16-yard line. So we're looking at about a 3rd and 12 now for the Bears. And as I talked about, Olympia making an adjustment on Marshad DeWalt. Looks like the Bears trying to make an adjustment on Isaiah Brooks as they stopped him after a short 2-yard gain, and he had a big first half. So Caden Wilson under center again. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looks to his to his right, and that is off the hands of intended receiver Colin Coder. So just like the Wolves, the Bears will go out pretty quietly. And the Wolves should actually get some pretty good field position out of this again. Looks like Cole Craner and Jacob Lewis both back for the Wolves.
Looks like Miles Huff is still out. He must have hurt his hand pretty good.
Good snap. Line drive, low line drive kick, rolls and takes a nice Olympia bounce across the 50 down at about the 46-yard line. So pretty good field position for the second time in a row for the Wolves. Don't want to squander these opportunities, Curtis. You got to put some points up when you're getting the short field like this and see what the Wolves can do, what kind of adjustments they'll make.
Absolutely. That last drive, Olympia really, contained Marshad. So maybe they need to try more passes or other runnings.
I think if they keep spreading the field and keep pounding Marshad up the middle, you'll start seeing holes opening up again, just like in the first half. So a little miscommunication there on the plays as Sculta gets back into position. And the Wolves are going to have to burn a timeout as there's a miscommunication on the play. Wolves not on the same page there as Cooper Canton trying to direct traffic there and a couple of guys out of position. So the Wolves are going to have to burn their first timeout here with about 8:43 to go in the third quarter. Taken over at the 47-yard line. This is one of the few teams actually that the Wolves have a losing record against. The Wolves are 3-8 all time against Olympia after last year's 28-21 loss down in Olympia. So this has been a team that they've struggled with over the past several years.
But it's been close.
They have been great games. And this is another one, 21-17 here in the third quarter. Wolves look like they got it all together now. Cooper Canton ready for the snap out of the shotgun. Sends Escolta into motion. And he'll hand off to DeWalt coming to the left side. Lunges forward. He'll get about 2, maybe 3 yards out of that.
Flag on the play at the end.
Late flag on the play, and it looks like we've got an Olympia player down.
He was down low for that tackle, maybe a little too low.
Looks like that's number 44, Clay Markoff, the all-league linebacker, junior for Olympia. His athletic trainers are out attending to him. Back onto his feet.
He'll walk off.
He looks like he's walking a little gingerly. He's walking all right. So he might have just gotten the wind knocked out. Yeah, he's starting to hustle off now. He might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him maybe. So it looks like Markoff is going to be all right. It'd be a big loss for the Bears. He's a all-league junior. Made all-league last year as a sophomore. One of the leaders, linebacker of the Olympia Bears defense.
Yeah, he's one of the key captains too.
So that penalty was against the Wolves.
Little bring them even further back.
So we're going to back them up.
Don't even know what the penalty was.
It's like 31, maybe 32-yard line. And here we go. Cooper Canton back for the snap.
Second and really long.
Takes the snap. Hands it off to Marshad DeWalt up the middle as he powers through. Takes it to just about the 40-yard line. About an 8-yard gain for Marshad. But those back-to-back penalties back the Wolves way up. So now we're looking at about a third and about 15, maybe 16.
Marshad could be possibly breaking 200 in this game. It's 200 yards.
He's on his way for sure. Well, Bears showing blitz again, and they come. He's got Maynard on the outside. He'll take it to about midfield. Well short of the first down. He's going to be about 8 yards short. But again, the Wolves have an opportunity to pin Olympia deep here. And it looks like these guys are playing a little bit of the field position game. Wolves trying to keep Olympia deep on their side.
It's been an incredible defensive effort on both teams.
It's number 6, Joel Jones, back for the Bears. Number 7, Cooper Canton, punting for the Wolves. About 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Plenty of football left. Snap a little bit off. No rush, though. Cooper gets the kick off. Goes a fair catch. Lets it go. And it takes a nice Wolves bounce inside the 5-yard line and down at the 3. Down to the 3-yard line by Cole Craner. Great punt coverage by the Wolves. And the Bears are deep in their own territory here.
You know what I've never seen in a high school football game?
A safety?
Exactly.
Well, we got an opportunity for one here. We'll see what they're going to do. 9 times out of 10, you don't want to take a chance on a pass play here. So more than likely, Mr. Brooks is going to get the handoff here, and he does. Takes it to the right side, breaks a nice tackle, and gets it almost to the first down marker. Looks like he's got about 9 yards on that carry, so that gets them out of the shadow of their own end zone. So
there goes
tough
Brooks.
break there for the Wolves.
Destroying my hopes and dreams.
Yeah, Curtis, safety's going to be unlikely in this position now as they take over at the 11-yard line, 12-yard line, about a 2nd and 1 now. Hands it to Brooks to the other side. Just enough. He gets about 3, maybe 4 yards out of it, and we're looking at another first down.
Noah French on the tackle again. He's just hitting hard tonight.
Noah French is having a day. No doubt about that.
Looks a little shaken up, though. He's staying on the field.
And he's another kid I coached in baseball a couple of years ago. Very tough kid. Very hard-nosed. So Wilson under center again. This time he's going to throw. He flips one out to the outside, tackle from behind, and that'll take him up for another first down.
Again, Noah French on that one.
French and Jacob Lewis out there on that one. That's going to move the chains again. So the Bears have gotten something going here offensively. They're starting to click a little bit. And Noah French is hobbling off the field this time. Shaking up a little bit on the play, but he came off. He might have got a stinger. I don't want to speculate on injuries, but came off on his own power. Looks like he's all right. So handoff here up the middle for Brooks again as he takes it to about the 29, maybe 30-yard line. So about a 3-yard gain for Brooks. Bring up a second 7.
The FMed program here at South are very cautious, and they're very good at what they do. So I'm sure they're just checking, with all this adrenaline pumping, you may not even know you're injured.
Very good athletic medicine program here at South. Several state championships under their belts. So the handoff again to Brooks. Breaks a tackle, holding on.
Connor Reed on the tackle.
Connor Reed.
Fighting with the runner.
So Brooks will take it to about the 35-yard line. Make that 36-yard line, and he's going to be just about a yard short. So a 3rd and 1. Wilson under center again. Hands it again to Brooks. Finds some room. Raymond Marin brings him down after the first down. It takes him to about the 40, almost to the 45-yard line. So pretty impressive drive here so far by Olympia. Really moving the ball well on this drive. Wolves going to need a stop here. Olympia had a drive earlier in the game that started like this, and the Wolves ended up getting a turnover on it. So this time the little trickery is they fake the handoff to Brooks and then hand it off to Cody Torsvit, who dives forward for about 5 yards.
Less than 4.5 in this third quarter.
So we got a 2nd and 5 now.
No points have been scored yet in this second
Handoff
half.
again to Brooks with some running room up the middle. Drags a couple guys with him. And he looks like he's got the first down again.
Jordan Gondola on that
and
tackle.
He does. Wolves defense beginning to look a little bit tired on this drive. Olympia hustles out of the huddle. Quick snap, runs the same play again. This time Torsvik gets tripped up a little bit early, and he might have got a yard out of that.
It's like Keith Metzeler on that tackle.
Case another junior, isn't he?
Yeah.
So again to Brooks off to the right side. And they're really running hard to that right side. Just getting 4 and 5 yards at a clip, but they keep moving the chains.
Wolves really need to stop in this play.
So that's going to bring up a 3rd and about 2 from the 35-yard line of the Wolves. So a big 3rd down play here if the Wolves can get a stop. I would suspect they're going to hand off to Brooks, but we'll see. And they do. And he powers through and falls forward, and looks like he probably is going to get that first down, and he does.
Got past the 30.
So Brooks really starting to rack up some yardage here.
Yeah, could be giving Marshall a run for his money.
He's been the horse on this drive for sure. So coming up on about 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Olympia was backed up in their 3-yard line.
Yeah, this has been a very, very impressive drive for them.
Past the 30 now, south side.
So again to Brooks. This time he stacked up pretty quick. Again, Noah French back in the game, and he's on the tackle. Looks like maybe no gain on that one. So 2:30 left. The Bears leading at 21-17, and they're driving here. They've gotten inside the 30 to about a 27-yard line. It's about a 2-yard gain for them. Bears back to work again. Caden Wilson under center. This time he pitches it to the outside, cuts back. Nice tackle there. That's number 51.
Will Gatlin.
Will Gatlin with the tackle.
Tripped him up over there.
After a short gain. So we're looking at about a 3rd and 6 now. Nice tackle by senior Will Gatlin. One of the top leading tacklers on the team this year. So Wilson under center hands it off to Thorsved again, and this time he's going to get up to close to first down yardage, and it looks like he's got it. So another 1st and 10 now. This time down at about the 16-yard line.
Olympia is on their way to running almost the whole field in this drive.
It's been an impressive drive. It's taken up almost the entire quarter, about a minute and a half to go. Wilson again under center. This time he's looking back, throws off balance to the right. He's got his man.
Jacob Lewis with the tackle.
So about a 5-yard gain on that one, bringing up a 2nd and 5 from the 11. Caden Wilson under center, takes a handoff to Brooks. Brooks powering ahead, trying to find the end zone, still on his feet. And
Wolves
did he get the
with
ball?
it.
Raymond Marin with a strip. Raymond Marin gets the strip, recovers the fumble, and the Wolves come up with the turnover that they needed.
Couldn't have happened at a better time. They drove the entire field, and then they got it.
Raymond Marin, his 2nd forced fumble of the year.
And that has got to sting for Olympia. All that effort, and then it's just stripped away.
Boy, they drove 90-plus yards, and the Wolves stacked up Brooks, and I don't know, it was a late whistle, or I don't know when exactly Marin pulled the ball out of there, but they had Brooks stacked up, and they stopped him. So the Wolves take over at their own 9-yard line, so they're going to try to put together a drive of their own. Marshad DeWalt with the handoff.
Nowhere to go on that one.
Looks like he stopped at about the line of scrimmage there, maybe gets a yard out of it. So we'll go 2nd and 9 from about the 10-yard line. About 30 seconds to go left here in the 3rd quarter. Wolves trailing 21-17 now. No scores for anybody so far in this quarter. Looks like there's some confusion again on the offensive play, but they're just going to run the clock down and go into the 4th quarter here. So the Wolves are going to go ahead and wind it out. They're going to try the other side of the field.
A scoreless 3rd quarter. Back and forth between both teams. Looks like they're going to show us the strip. We didn't catch this when we were watching, but
let's take a look at the replay. Raymond Marin strip of Isaiah Brooks. See the handoff, Brooks cutting up the middle, and oh yeah, right there, Marin has got all kind of hands on the ball, rips it out of there, runs over quarter, and then drags ahead until number 75, that's Brett Thompson, able to bring Marin down. So a huge, huge turnover right there. That's a 3rd turnover of the game the defense has created, something they have not done a lot of in the first 2 games, and they've gotten 3 here. I believe they only had 1 in the first 2 games.
Well, you know what they say, defense wins championships, and right now the defense is playing at a pretty high level.
So the Wolves looking at a 2nd and 9 from the 10-yard line after we come back to play here in the 4th quarter. Just starting the 4th quarter here. Beautiful night for football out here, Curtis. Nice, and it's warm. The field's been taken care of really well this whole season so far. Haven't seen a lot of rain just yet. So we've got a great night for football. We got a heck of a football game here. 21-17, Olympia leads it as we head into the 4th quarter. Cooper Canton again out of the shotgun. Takes a snap, drops back, looks to the far side. He's got, freshman Dusty Garcia unable to hold on.
That was good defense on Olympia. He kind of had it, but then he got shoved out of it.
Yeah, hit as soon as he got hands on it. See Braden Maynard there patting the freshman on the back saying, it's all right, kid, make the next one. Great teammate right there, Braden Maynard. So Cooper Canton gets the call here from Coach Corey Vartanian. 3rd and 9. This is a big play right here, Curtis. Again, if we don't get much of a first down here, it's going to give Olympia a short field to work with. So big first down here needed by the Wolves. 3rd and 9 from their 10. The Sculta into motion. Canton takes a snap. Blitz coming. Oh, Hanton hit immediately. He is hit, and he is slow to get up. Cooper Canton is down for the moment. Slow to get up, gets back to his feet.
Cooper Canton gets hit hard.
Blitz coming, safety blitz from the outside.
Looks like they might have someone else punt for him. I don't know. No, he's staying on there.
Joel Jones, a speedy kick returner, comes on a blitz from the outside. Cooper doesn't see him, and he gets hammered just as he lets go of it. Ball goes straight up in the air. Luckily for the Wolves, no one able to get to it. So the Wolves going to be forced to punt now with about 11:50 to go in the game. Cooper Canton still walking a little slow back there. He really took a shot. So he'll be kicking from inside his own end zone. See if they come after it. They do.
Oh!
Cooper gets it off. Nice kick.
Close one.
And that ball gets to about the 37, 38 yard line. Cooper Canton almost had that block. They were coming for it. And a lot of times you'll see that when you're in your own end zone, you'll see guys selling out trying to get that ball, either recover for a touchdown or give them field position inside the 10. So
they're going to need to look at Cooper.
Cooper, yeah, he's hobbling off a little bit. So, yeah, Mr. Hyatt, the athletic med trainer, he's going to be talking to Coop. So the Bears will take over 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line.
South wants to stay in this. They really need to hold them this drive.
This time it's like number 36, Scott Gunther, on the carry.
Sophomore, 5'10", 165 pounds. He looks pretty big, though.
He does look bigger than 165 pounds. But that was a nice little run by him as he gets about 8 yards out of the play, bringing up a 2nd and 2.
Oh!
Shirt tackle that time. Dominic Vargas catches him from behind after probably about no gain. We're going to call it a 3rd and 2. So big defensive stand here for the Wolves. From here, you're about the 29-yard line. You're looking at a 46-yard field goal. That's a pretty good shot for a high school kid. So if they can hold him here, got a good chance to maybe get the ball back. Hands it off again to him, and he gets across and does get the first down. Looks like Jagger Bersheim on the tackle there. So that'll move the chains, and the Olympia will extend their drive as they are now inside 25 to about a 23-yard line.
Olympia's been running the ball super well. I get the feeling that this drive might be the most important drive of the game. This could be really the determining factor. Because
Really
even
is.
if South gets it back, and runs it down and scores.
So South showing blitz, and it looks like they might have gotten Olympia a jump. See what the call is, if the defense jumped a little early or if Olympia moved early, and they did. It's a false start on the Bears. That'll back them up 5 more yards. So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 28 now. Miles Huff checking back in. Good to see Miles back on the field after a left arm injury in the first half. So Miles Huff coming back to see some action.
He's a big
This
player
time
for
he
the
pitches
defense.
it outside to Gunther. And he barrels through for about 5 yards, maybe 6. Raymond Marin on the stop. Dominic Vargas in there as well. Looks like Dominic was.
Raymond Marin with that big strip in that last drive.
So we got a 2nd and 5 now from the 18-yard line. Another pitch outside to Gunther, and stacked up on the outside. Raymond Marin's in there again.
Raymond Marin moving really fast out there.
Elijah Griffin in on the tackle as well. Jager Bersheim out there as well. 3 guys tabbing up on that one.
Brent really knows how to sneak around and get them.
So a 3rd and 1 for the Bears. Not sure what's going on with Brooks, if he's shaken up or if they're just giving him a breather. Hands it off up the middle to Gunther, and he is going to get in. Touchdown. Craner tackles him, but he is in the end zone, and the Bears now extend their lead 27-17, pending the extra point. So once again, a big rush up the middle. Scott Gunther, the sophomore running back for Olympia, once he got through that interior line, he really kicked the Jets to get that last couple of yards, and Craner got there just a touch late.
Craner tried to pull him back, but he just leaped over him.
So Davis on to pin on the extra point, and the kick is up, and it is good. So 28-17 now with just over 9 minutes to go here in the game.
Wolves got a lot of work to do now.
We'll see if senior quarterback Cooper Canton's able to make it back in. Looks like he is. I see him on the sidelines there. Looks like he's going to be all right. But he's got some work to do, Curtis. We're down by 11 now. Wolves got to start moving the ball, and they got to do it fairly quickly. Going to need 2 scores now to get back into this one.
You know, it's really been nothing but the running game for the Wolves. They really need to get their wide receivers out there and make some big plays.
Yeah, you know, the Wolves have only taken a couple shots downfield. Coop's thrown some short passes into the flats. The Olympia Bears are probably going to give you that. But they're really keyed on Marshad DeWalt right now. You know,
exactly. They've really been shutting him down this half.
I think we've got to take some shots downfield and spread them out a little bit so that it can free Marshad back up again. Because right now they're just stacking the box and they're stopping Marshad, or at least trying to. And so far this half they have, and Marshad hasn't broken those runs like he did in the first half. So if you do some play action to him and maybe take some shots downfield a little bit, Cooper Canton, big arm, accurate arm. Spread out that defense a little bit and try to make some things happen. So 28-17 now as the Bears about to kick off. Freshman Dusty Garcia and Jacob Lewis back for the Wolves. Both of those guys can fly. And as you could tell, by that pooch punt that went, that squibber that went out of bounds, but looks like we got a false start on the Bears, and they're going to back them up a little bit.
This will be good for the Wolves. And I've noticed like almost every team so far has like, for the most part, squib kicked against the Wolves.
Well, you know, when you got guys that can run like Huff, like Garcia, like Lewis, you know, you take your chances with those up-backs and just, you know, let them have it at the 30-yard line instead of taking a chance on one of those guys breaking it. You know, last year we had Corey Bell, who broke a couple touchdown runs. He was really fast, and people started staying away. So they're kind of doing the same thing here. Just you don't want to take a chance on one of those fast guys breaking one on you.
We got a lot of track stars on this team.
We do. We have some speed for sure.
Track stars and baseball players.
So here they go. They squib it again, and they will knock it out of bounds. Garcia will pick it up at a 20, breaks one tackle, takes it out to about the 30 and to about 32-yard line. So a nice little return on a pretty decent kick there for a squib. He kicked it to the sidelines, which is kind of gutsy because if that goes out of bounds, which that one stopped, and Garcia was going to let it go out of bounds, but it stopped. He picked it up at about a 20, barrels forward for about 11 to about a 31-yard line. So with 9:17 left in the game, the Wolves trailing by 11. Cooper Canton and the Wolves take over. 1st and 10 from the 31. And let's see if they try to air it out a little bit or try to make some things happen. Canton takes a snap.
Braden Maynard
fakes to his left, throws to his right. He's got Maynard. Maynard breaks tackle, shakes another guy, and is able to go forward for about 3. So a little misdirection play there for the Wolves, but only about a 3-yard gain on it.
Maynard hasn't been much with juking, but if you let him get outside, he'll
run.
outrun everyone.
He can certainly run. Braden Maynard, pretty much Cooper Canton's favorite target for the past 5 years. They played together at John Sedgwick Junior High there from 7th grade on, so this is their 5th season together. You were part of those teams with John Sedgwick, weren't you?
Yeah, I remember. A lot of these people have played in Pee Wees as well.
So Canton again from the shotgun. Takes a snap.
Made it open
This
again.
time he's looking deep. He's got his man wide
Maynard!
open, and oh, what a hit!
Oh, that flag on that play. That was definitely a helmet to
Maynard
helmet.
is down. Number 6, Joel Jones, with a monster hit, but that looked like a helmet to helmet. Maynard shaking up on the play. Flag is down. Boy, I mean, you want to see the. Yeah, Maynard is hurt.
They need to get
He's
him off.
staggering around, and you see now the player's calling for it. Maynard is hurt. That was a vicious helmet-to-helmet shot.
I think the refs-
That ball was put on the button, too. What a great throw by Cooper Canton. Nice grab by Maynard, but ball dislodged as he took a helmet-to-helmet
defenseless.
shot.
He didn't take one step, and he was hit, but he held on to it.
Pretty sure this is going to be a personal foul, helmet-to-helmet. But let's wait to see what they have to say about it.
Maynard's coming off now. He's going to get checked out. He probably might not come
And
back
there you
in.
go. It is the helmet-to-helmet. So that's going to be a first down for the Wolves.
8:17 left, and that's going to put them in pretty good field position.
Needed a big play. What a play that was. A shame that the hit there, but what a great throw by Cooper. And I was just saying, try to air it out a little bit. Like you said, you had Maynard down there, had him open, hit him. Jones covered some ground because he was nowhere close to that play, and he got over there in a hurry. So the Wolves will take over here at about the 48-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. Not enforced from the point of the foul, it's just enforced from the line of scrimmage. So 1st and 10 from the 48. Handoff to Marshad DeWalt up the middle.
Marshad
He drops
loses
the
it.
ball.
Olympia
And
recovers.
it looks like Olympia has picked it up. Their first turnover of the game for the Wolves. Marshad DeWalt coughs it up at about the 45-yard line. And the Bears will take over there. So a promising drive stalls out after the fumble. Marshad's first fumble of the season and the Wolves' first turnover of the game. They've forced 3, but they've given up 1 here on a play where they had an opportunity to make some things happen. So with about 8 minutes to go here, they're going to hand it off, and a nice little misdirection up the middle again, taken down by Lewis, Jacob Lewis. That's number 35, Corey Thorsvit, the ball carrier there. And it looks like he might have cramped up a little bit. As you can see, even the players know. You start grabbing the legs and stretching them out. Looks like he might have cramped up a little bit. It is kind of a muggy night out tonight, Curtis. Kind of humid. You got to make sure you're getting those fluids. Yeah, those are definitely cramp-related exercises they're doing there. So like I said, I don't like to normally speculate on an injury, but I know what that injury is. So they're bringing him some water, stretching out that calf. And of course, pretty sure Mr. Thorsvit will be okay here in just a minute.
Hope everyone's drinking water tonight because I almost got dehydration during halftime.
Yeah, you bet.
Luckily, my good old buddy in the announce booth got me some water.
So last year we talked about Olympia went 7-3. The Wolves went 4-6 last season, also missed the playoffs. Had a chance to qualify, but they lost the final league game to Central Kitsap 28-14. However, they did rebound to win their final game of the season against Foss 41-25. So
that was an impressive one there.
Ended the season the way they wanted to on a nice win. So Cody Thorsvit back up and helped off the field, gets off on his own power actually, so he should be all right and probably return to the game here in a little while. Handoff again, looks like Brooks is back in the game. He barrels ahead for about 5.
Brooks took a breather for a while because he was in almost every play. Now he's back.
Yeah, I think you're right, Curtis. I mean, he could have been hurt, but it looks like he had to just give him a little breath. They were moving the ball without him, so when you got a chance to rest a starter like that and you're still effective, might as well rest him, right?
Yeah.
So with the injury to Thorsvit, Brooks will come back into the game with about just under 7 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. Olympia knocking on the door again. Noah French stuffs Isaiah Brooks at the line of scrimmage.
Did not want him going anywhere.
Noah French just all over the football field tonight. Dominic Vargas a little slow to get up, holding his hamstring. He might be cramping up a little bit as well. So a big 3rd and 4 from the 30-yard line right here. Big stop needed by the Wolves. They need to get the ball back, and they need to get moving on offense here. Time, and now the clock is their enemy as we're coming in on 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go, and the Wolves need 2 scores. So hitting the backfield and still driving forward, and he is going to be close, but I believe he is going to be short of the first down, and he will be. So it's going to be a 4th down and about 1. So decision time for Olympia. Coach Beatty decide now whether he's going to go for this, and not much a decision made. He is absolutely going for it. So a huge 4th and 1 if the Wolves can get a stop here. Quarterback sneak up the middle, and Caden Wilson. Great surge by the Olympia offensive line, and Wilson will get that first down. Second time they've run that quarterback sneak on the short gains.
Caden Wilson got that 6'5" frame, so 4th and 1 is pretty quick sneak for him.
That was Noah French's 11th tackle of the game.
Not to mention his interception earlier.
Talked about Isaiah Brooks. He had 166 yards at the half. Marshad DeWalt, on the other hand, has about 149 carries.
And
so
a nice tackle
there and stacked up, not going anywhere.
Dominic Vargas right on that.
And should you guess, look at that, number 9, Noah French in there again.
Wolves not giving up now. 5.5 minutes left.
Noah French with his 12th tackle of the game. Have a day, senior Noah French. Miles Huff checks back in for the Wolves. As the Bears chewing some clock here. Throws to the outside. He's got his man Coulter.
Cole Craner looking for it, and then Miles Huff
misses 2 tackles, and then a big hit. Who is it?
Noah French.
Number 9, Noah French finishes the play. My goodness, Noah.
Noah French just carrying this defense.
So right now, and we've got another Olympia player down.
Derek Bueller this time.
And again, they're out there trying to stretch out that calf. So it looks like we got another Olympia player cramping up.
Derek Bueller had that huge play at the end of the first half that put them back in the lead.
South Kitsap athletic medicine trainer Chris Hyatt working on the downed Olympia player. And it looks like he's okay, and he's jogging. He's a little tight, but he's jogging off on his own power. So we'll probably be seeing Mr. Bueller here in a little bit. So right now, the clock, the enemy for the Wolves coming down 5 minutes now, still needing 2 scores, and Olympia knocking on the door again. If they could at least hold them to a field goal here, they would still just be 2 touchdowns away, so there would still be 2 scores. So the positive to be taken there, but they're going to have to get moving pretty quick. Under 5 minutes to go here in the game. 1st and 10 from the 11. Hands off to Brooks, and he is hit immediately. Dominic Vargas.
Along with Raymond Marin.
And Raymond Marin, both in on that one. Looked like Vargas got there first, and Marin helped finish him off. So a big first down stop there. 2nd and 10 now as we come under 4.5 minutes to go in the game. Wolves have 2 timeouts left. Had to use one early. Remember early in the half there when they had a miscommunication on their offense. So 2nd and 12 now after the loss.
Looks like the Olympia is taking off.
And Olympia is doing that. They will take a timeout. So 4 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Wolves down by 11, and Olympia knocking on the door.
Wolves really need a surge now, defensively and offensively.
Could really use one of those turnovers. I'll tell you that. So Coach Canton rallying the troops there, going to try to pull them together, see if they can get that stop that they need. Olympia, on the other hand, going to try to keep continuing to run the clock down. I mean, pretty safe to say they're probably just going to be running and probably using Brooks a lot. Try to run that clock down, get a couple of yards. They would like to get in the end zone, but I'm pretty sure they're probably just going to stick to that run game, and it's what I've gotten them here so far. It's winning the game for them. So you take a chance on throwing passes and stopping the clock, which if you're Olympia, you don't want to do. So we'll see what happens here as Wilson under center now, 2nd and 12.
Oh, encroachment on
Mikey. Is that Mikey Garcia?
Yeah.
41? Yeah, Mikey Garcia, number 41. Came across the line a little early, tried to guess the snap count.
Looks like he was going for the Superman tackle.
Tried to guess the snap count, so that's not what you needed. 5 extra free yards for the Olympia Bears will take them down to the 7-yard line now. So excuse me, the 8-yard line. So they can still get a first down at the 1. They pitch it out to Brooks looking to the outside, dragging a couple of guys with him all the way down to the 1-yard line, maybe the 2, maybe the 1.5-yard line. Yeah, just about the 1.5-yard line. So
Skolta was going for that tackle. He just couldn't hold on.
And he does get the first down. So it's going to be 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. So if the Wolves ever needed a defensive stand, it is right now. Got to hold these guys to a field goal attempt and keep this a 2-score game. A touchdown here would be pretty tough to overcome.
Clock ticking down to 3:44.
Hands it off up the middle, and is the ball loose?
Ball loose, but he
the
picked
ball
it up.
Did get loose, and Olympia recovers in the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the Bears. That'll make it 34-17 with about 3 minutes, 39 seconds left. 34-17, pending the extra point. So Davis will line up, snaps a little high. Oh, then we've got flags coming in. False start on the offense, so that'll back the Bears up 5 more yards, make it a little longer extra point. Skylar Davis is just a sophomore, 5'9", 166 sophomore, but the couple of kicks I've seen him make, he's got a pretty good leg on him. Caden Wilson, the quarterback, is the holder for Skylar Davis. So line back up. Again, it's a high snap. Gets it down. The kick is no good. Wide left. So that makes it a 17-point game, but it's a 3-score game with about 3 minutes, 39 seconds left in the game. So the Wolves are going to have to get downfield and get downfield in a hurry. Curtis got 2 timeouts left. Need 3 scores. They got to score quick, get some onside kicks, and score. That's going to be the name of the game. They got to score quick.
Yeah, we'll probably be seeing some big long passes from Canton.
I would imagine now the Olympia would get into a prevent defense, probably not let them take big long shots like they hit Maynard on there. They'll probably give them the dumpers. But that's the good thing about high school football. That this clock does stop on the first downs. So if the Wolves can get some first downs and not have to use timeouts and get downfield pretty quick, get some out of bounds or whatever.
See if they can have a no-huddle offense.
They've got an uphill climb, but they're not completely out of it. But they definitely need some things to happen for them, and they're going their way. So the Bears ready to kick off again. We've got, looks like Lewis and Garcia back to receive again. 2 speedsters. If they can get that ball, we saw Garcia break one earlier for about 45 yards, and they'll squib it again. And it bounces over Connor Reed. And Connor Reed will recover it at about the 23-yard line.
Cooper Canton back on the field to drive the offense.
Here's where you may see Marin. We haven't seen him throw to Marin yet, but Marin's been pretty active so far this season out of the backfield. So you may see him getting some dump downs in the flats, possibly some check downs to Marshad. But we've got to get the ball moving. So Canton's back out of the shotgun. Throws. He's got Van Giesen. Can't hold on. Dropped at about the 27-yard line.
About 3:30 left.
You know, that's the things that they can't afford. You know, you really got to be making some catches here. You got to make the plays. We got to execute.
Braden Maynard sitting on the sidelines with his helmet off, so looks like he's definitely done for the night after that big hit earlier.
He took a heck of a shot to the head. And you could saw him staggering around. I was a little worried about him. So hopefully he's not going to be out too long. Come back next week. So Cooper Canton takes the snap again. Oh, muffs the snap, but then he holds. Oh!
And too
Great
short for Van
defensive
Giesen.
play. Number 31, Matt Anthony, gets a hand on it. Diving in there at the last second, intended for Van Giesen. So 3rd and 10 now with about 3:30 left. Obviously, we're 4-down territory here, Curtis. We've got to get the ball going. We cannot punt at this point.
It's all or nothing now.
So
Wolves.
the Wolves now have run 2 plays and haven't gotten any yards on it, although they haven't taken a lot of time off the clock because they've hit 2 quick hitter pass attempts. So Canton again passes up. Oh, a little miscommunication there with his intended receiver.
Max Patterson.
Max Patterson, the 6'3 senior. Looked like he came in. Cooper threw to the out. Typically, you would want to throw to the out to get a guy out of bounds, but at this point, you can also take in routes. But since the clock stops with first downs, but a little miscommunication there between Canton and Patterson.
It looks like they're punting. Punting team
And
is
they
out.
absolutely are punting, or at least lined up in punt formation. So this, with 3:25 to go, down by 17 points and giving the ball back. Unless Coach Canton's got something up his sleeve here.
It's a
Slap is
fake?
low,
I thought it was a
but
fake.
Cooper still gets it off. There is a flag on the play. It takes a bounce, South Kitsap bounce across the 50, inside the 45 to about the 42, 43-yard line. There is a penalty on the play. Let's see what we've got. So it looks like an illegal formation call against the Wolves. See if Olympia accepts it. And that is what it is.
You know, why not accept it? They can keep running it, maybe even score more. Make the deficit bigger.
Yeah, well, they're gonna decline it, so they. Well, there's some.
Yeah, all right, stick on.
Well, maybe they are accepting it. Well, the Wolves look confused. Okay, so they are declining it. I figured they would. And they got pretty good field position out of it anyway. There wasn't really sense. You got a 17-point lead.
This is why we need to have microphones for the refs.
Yes, exactly. But it looked for a second that they were going to accept it. The Wolf punt team went back out there. So that'll bring the ball all the way to the Wolves' 38-yard line. Or excuse me, 43-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 43. And I imagine this is going to be pretty much the Mr. Brooks show as he hands off to the left side, powers through for about 6 more.
You have a very good imagination, sir.
I would imagine he's probably up around 200 yards plus now. Wolves not calling a timeout here. So with just under 3 minutes to go and down by 17 points, the Olympia Bears are just going to wind this clock down. They're just going to keep taking all the time they've got. You'll see the back judge will give him a signal letting him know that he's got 5 seconds left. And there he goes. And they hand it off. Again, this time he's stacked up. And look who's in there again.
Noah French,
number
14.
9, Noah French. And it looks like 31, Mikey Garcia. Oh, excuse me, that's Dominic Vargas, number 21. Dominic Vargas, he was a little slow to get up. And they're going to call him off the field as he's hanging that left arm a little bit. Yeah, he's grabbing it, so he's coming off the field. Noah French, what's that, 13, 14 tackles for him
14.
tonight? My goodness. Well, you know, we don't do MVPs, but I tell you what, Noah French has my vote for sure for defensive MVP tonight. He has had a whale of a game. So about 1:40 to go here. Caden hands it off this time to number 20, Zayden Hernandez, the 5'10", 175 sophomore from Olympia. He'll get the first down. They'll move the chains. We got about 1:35 to go, so the Wolves are going to open up league play with a loss here tonight. Tough loss. You know, this was a great game first half, and you know, when they got that touchdown at the end of the half, it just seemed to put all the momentum in their favor.
Yeah, well, there wasn't any score in the third quarter, so we still thought it was going to be a close one, but then they just came out with lots of fuel, and they just dominated this last quarter.
You can see the frustration there on Coach Canton's face, and Olympia will now go into victory formation as we come down to about 1 minute to go, and they're just going to down it and kill the clock. So this one's going to end 34-17 in favor of the Olympia Bears. But honestly, on an upside to this game, after last week's game, you know, we did move the ball a little more efficiently. We did make some plays on defense. And honestly, I think the defense got a little bit tired towards the end. Like you said, third quarter, there's no score, as Wilson will take a knee again. Taking third down as we're down to about 30 seconds left in the game. But the defense, it just looked to me like they got tired. Like I said, no score in the third quarter. But in the fourth quarter, you could see that Brooks was starting to get ahead of steam. Gunther was starting to get in. They brought fresh legs with Gunther. Mm-hmm. Gunther was making some plays, and it looked like our defense might have been getting a little bit tired there towards the end of the game. But, you know, run defense is right now is the biggest challenge for the Wolves.
Noah French impressive, but he just couldn't carry the defense.
Noah French, 14 tackles tonight? I mean, what a night for number 9, senior linebacker Noah French. Marshall DeWalt, another big night, you know. He was probably close to 200 yards, give or take. He had 20 carries for 159 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Canton was 9 for 20 for 50 yards, had a lot of short passes, and he had a few drops. You know, his stats are a little skewed there with a couple of drops that were made. But you know, the Wolves got to work on run defense. That's 2 weeks in a row where they've had guys run for 200 yards-ish on them. So run defense is going to be the key, I think, they're going to be focusing on.
Well, as you see, these high school teams traditionally shake hands. We'd like to thank you for joining us for this South Kitsap High School football game. We'd also like to thank the students of the video production program who have made this television program possible.
Again, the final score tonight from Joe Knowles Field, it was the Olympia Bears 34 and the South Kitsap Wolves 17. Thanks for watching tonight's game, and tune in to SKTV on Friday, October 3rd at 7 o'clock as the Wolves take on the Gig Harbor Tides. From all of us here at SKTV, I'm Steve Dickey.
And I'm Curtis Keats saying so long and good evening from South Kitsap High School.